wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number, and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it, flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy President's Day, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to your Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Day off for some.
Enjoy it if you're a federal employee or a student.
Yeah. Or I guess a banking employee.
Students are off today, right?
Well, yeah, my wife is, so...
See, I wasn't sure about that because Rihanna missed school on Friday, and I told the teacher, I was like, well she'll see you on Monday, and she didn't correct me, so I was like, because they did have...
The teacher probably didn't think they were off Monday, you know what I mean?
Right.
When you said it,
my mindset is, well, they just had parent-teacher conference days, so they got a day off that. Did they like, usurp President's Day to give them the teacher conference day off? I wasn't sure how the schedule was working.
No. My wife's home today, so kids are going. Sans my wife, so no, it's day off for them. So
good stuff.
You're okay.
Enjoy the backsides of your eyelids.
Yes. Yeah, I imagine banks probably not open today.
Mm-hmm.
Things like that.
Yeah, post office not going to be delivering a lot of the federal establishments.
City service. I mean, like your zoo and all that, but like City Hall. Not gonna be anything going on.
The Roswell Recreation Aquatic Center is going to be open tomorrow or today.
See.
The city offices are not.
See.
I'm trying to remember the list here.
Zoo believes open.
I believe
today.
the zoo is open. The Adult and Aquatic Center are also, or Recreation Aquatic Center are also open.
Yeah, the fun things.
Yes.
That you do around town. They're open today.
I don't believe there's going to be trash collection today.
Unless you find paying your water bill fun, then you can't. I mean, you can do it online. You just can't.
You know the one office that doesn't get President's Day off? Weirdly? The president. You would think. I mean, it's like, on your birthday, you hate working. Like, if I was the president, I would be mad that I had to do stuff on President's Day.
Well, as far as I'm concerned, you can take day off.
Yeah. Knock it out. Go golfing. Or, I don't know.
Ukraine's going to get invaded any day now. They've been telling us. They've been telling us.
It always just seems like when you call somebody, it's like the worst thing in the world's happening. It's like, yeah, but I go on vacation next week. Yeah. That always seems to take precedence. Like the world is coming to an end, but I did book this like 2 months ago. I'm gonna go stare at a coral reef for about 2 days.
Apparently, they took the Game of Thrones approach to teasing us about the
fire raining from the sky. Yeah, but I got this snorkeling trip in a couple of days. I'm gonna take it.
Winter's coming,
That's right. This might be the last chance I have. Hell, it's an apocalypse. This might be the last chance I have to go stare down a clownfish.
Well, happy President's Day.
Yes.
Whether you get the day off or not, enjoy. I hope it's a good one for you here. We do have a full slate for you on this President's Day show. We have not one, but two municipal candidate election candidates going to be joining us this morning. This hour, we're going to have City Council candidate in Ward 3, Ed Hildebrand, join us. And we'll chit-chat with Ed for a little bit and find out why he's running. And then in the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to have City Council candidate in Ward 1, James Edwards, join us. And he'll give us a conversation on why he's running for City Council. We'll get a chance for him for y'all to meet him a little bit. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Amy McVeigh-Tejas is going to call in on the phone and give us an update what's happening. They've got some quite a few things going on in the world there at the Historical Society, including this weekend. We got the Donna Blake Birchall meet and greet on Sunday.
Ghost Towns of New Mexico.
Yeah, so we'll probably talk a little bit about that for her and other things as well. Plus, we'll have all of your features that include the news of the local and national variety. It is Monday. Mm-hmm. We'll have your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten here in just a few minutes. And whatever else we can come up with for today's show.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Early reports, by the way, coming off of the Ted Vigil show, saying great turnout.
Nice.
Fantastic show.
Yeah. And he didn't care if you called him V. Hill or Vigil.
Yep. He was fine.
Yeah.
He was good. Just as long as you came.
Well, it's kind of weird how he looks like John Denver. I mean, and it's not like, and the part that's weird is he just looks like he's not like a guy that has to put on a bunch of stuff and ta-da, I'm John Denver.
Right.
He just rolls up and you're like,
looks that, yeah.
Is that John?
So part of your mindset is like, did something happen? Was he reincarnated as John Denver? And he was still alive at the same time that John Denver was his spirit imbued into
or was
Ted?
He?
Or
we don't know. Maybe. Maybe it's like Starman,
Maybe he made it, maybe Denver made it out of the plane crash, found an amazing skin-like treatment to keep himself looking young and supple.
I think John Denver crossed the plane there, or whatever, he's in his experimental aircraft, and then I don't know if he hit like a wormhole or something, but the moment he left, out in the middle of the desert, a nude man showed up out of nowhere that looked just like John Denver, and I think his name is Ted Vigil.
What's that movie? What's the one where I can't think of where the guy dies? Is it Albert Brooks, I think?
Defending Your Life?
Is that it? Where he dies and
he goes to heaven and Rip Torn is his lawyer?
Yeah, he has a chance to come back or whatever.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
I love that.
So maybe
movie.
this is the whole Defending Your Life situation. Maybe John Denver went up and they're like, you know what? You've done enough good. We're going to give you another shot, but you're going to be named Ted Vigil. People are going to mispronounce your name for your entire life. The humbleness is what we're looking for.
Good news is the inventory of songs you can play. But you're not going to play anything new. Cool. Anyway, it's a great show, and everyone that got to go out, hope had an awesome time this weekend. So we got a lot more coming up. It is 12 minutes after 7. Probably should get the hour rolling.
Oh yeah.
And let's do that by updating you with the weather. Some good, some bad. With the good comes some bad, unfortunately. But here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cold front and low pressure will be affecting our weather over the next few days. It'll be sunny today, but the wind will be gusting to 45 miles per hour. Afternoon high in the mid-70s. Overnight looks partly cloudy, down to the mid-30s and breezy. Then another breezy day coming up on Tuesday. We'll hit about 70 for the afternoon high and sunny. A lot cooler on Wednesday, upper 40s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 45 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 17%, pretty low, which is the reason for what I'm about to tell you next. Winds are out of the south at 10 miles per hour. We do have a wind advisory today. That's going to take effect at 11 o'clock this morning, remaining in effect through 6 p.m. this evening. Red flag warning will kick in at 10 a.m. this morning, remaining in effect through 6 p.m. this evening. All that because of wind and, that humidity being pretty low right now. But could see some patchy blowing dust this afternoon. For today, the good part is mostly sunny and a high of 74, so it's going to be plenty warm. But unfortunately, the winds are coming with it. Southwest winds 10 to 20, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour later today. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 34 degrees. Southwest winds 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. After midnight tonight, those winds will decrease down 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, still a pretty warm day, a little breezy as well. Not as bad as today, though. Sunny, highs near 70 tomorrow. South winds 10 to 15 in the morning, 15 to 20 for tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 28 degrees. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then looking at the rest of the week, sunny, cooler on Wednesday, highs of only near 50 expected. Breezy with northeast winds 15 to 25 miles per hour. Cooler for the rest of the week as well. Sunny, 57 for a high on Thursday. Friday, mostly sunny, will maybe get to 50, 49 officially. And then looks like 54 and sunny for Saturday. sunny, back up into the low 60s on Sunday. All right, it is 7:15. Let's go ahead and get you into your Roswell Livestock Report with Smiley Wooten. We'll take a quick commercial break, and then on the other side, we'll have City Council candidate for Ward 3, Ed Hildebrand, join us on the other side. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. A good February run this week with an exceptionally nice run of long-time weaned native calves and yearlings with shots and condition. We expect to sell 1,800 head, breaking down like this. 75 to 100 weighing cows and bulls, 50 to 75 pairs, bred cows, 1,500, 1,600 calves and yearlings. Today's sale will include 206 steer yearlings from the Brown Brothers Ranch here west of Roswell. Reputation quality straight bringing steers, 3 rounds of shots, PI tested negative, right off short wheat, 650, 900 pounds. 200 calves, Mr. J. Houston, Quimada, New Mexico. Reputation quality black white face Angus cross calves, 100 plus days weaned, 3 rounds of shots, medium condition, right off dry grass, 500, 650 pounds. 210 steer yearlings. CNR Ranches, Alamogordo, New Mexico. Reputation quality black white face Angus cross yearlings, weaned 150 days, 2 rounds of shots, right off grass, 600, 700 pounds. 133 calves, L7 Ranch here north of Roswell. Reputation quality yellow Charolais crossbred calves, cattle weaned 110 days, 3 rounds of shots, right off wheat, 500, 650 pounds. 54 calves, Mr. Charlie Marley here north of Roswell. Quality black white face Angus and Charolais cross calves. Cattle are weaned, shots right off alfalfa fields, 500, 650 pounds. 72 calves, 3B Cattle Company here at Roswell. Quality black white face Angus and Charolais cross calves. Cattle weaned 100 plus days, 3 rounds of shots, right off wheat, 400, 550 pounds. 42 calves, 16 Springs Ranch at Mayhill, New Mexico. Quality black Angus cross calves, cattle weaned 30 days, 600, 700 pounds, and several smaller sets of long-time weaned calves and yearlings for today. Sale time this morning, 9 o'clock. Sell pairs bred cows 9:30. Be selling calves and yearlings at 10. Don't miss this run of high-quality cattle today. Also plan to attend the Roswell Brangus Bull and Female Sale. Also selling 11 select ranch horses coming up this Saturday, February the 26th. We expect to sell 1,800 head here today. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
Honey, did you see the story in the Roswell paper recently about how Dennis Kintai and the city council want to spend $61 million on new baseball fields?
Yep, talk about out-of-control spending.
Yeah, they say it's a field of dreams, more like field of debt.
Definitely. Kintai and the council don't have their priorities straight. Remember, they wanted to spend $35 million on a new public safety complex. Thank goodness over 80% of voters rejected that boondoggle.
And meanwhile, crime has gone up drastically over Kintai's last 4 years in charge.
Yeah, and Roswell's roads are a mess. Have you seen the sorry state that streets like North Garden are in? Potholes everywhere.
That's why we need Tim Jennings for mayor. Tim will control spending, hire more police officers, and fix our roads.
Let's send a message to City Hall that Roswell can't afford to spend $61 million on building new baseball fields. Vote Tim Jennings for mayor.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
Time to double up and save at Roswell Honda.
Double your refund.
That's right. Roswell Honda wants to double up your tax refund up to $4,000 towards your next vehicle. And with clearance prices across the lot, you can walk in, double up, and drive away today in a 2014 Yukon for just $379 a month, a 2014 Civic for just $249 a month, or a 2017 Escape for just $199 a month. 0 down, no payments for 4 months, free AirPods with a test drive, and double your refund.
Time to double up.
On now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward and Son Insurance Agency.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact.
The Procrastinators Club of America newsletter is called Last Month's Newsletter. Their first newsletter should be released any day now. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, City Council candidate for Ward 3, Ed Hildebrand, joining us in studio this morning. Morning, sir. How you doing today?
Hey, I'm great, Mike. Good morning with you as well.
Well, thanks for joining us this morning, getting up. I don't know if President's Day is normally a day off for you. I don't think in the car industry they don't. Usually days like this are busy days for the car world. So.
That's exactly right. We don't get many days off, I'll tell you that.
Occasional Sunday or two here. But first off, thank you for spending a few minutes with us here. And thank you for also, stepping up and getting involved in our community. I know when we talk about municipal elections, that at this level of election, it really is your neighbors, you're the people that you go to church with, the people you go to the store with, the people you recreate with. It really is a community-driven election. These are people that aren't politicians by trade. Most of them, this is people that they're your business owners and shop owners and moms and dads and people in our community here that just want a better community. So. I do appreciate you throwing your hat in the ring, and you and all the candidates here, because we need that.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. Thank you for that. And, I am just a concerned citizen of this community, just like you, just like anyone else is, and want to see things better for Roswell.
Absolutely.
And what do you define as better? That's what you have to define, and what the common thread that I've talked to a lot of folks that lived in this community I think I moved here in 1986. So I'm ingrained in this community and love this community as well. I first came here, Mike, in 86. I said, my kids didn't like it. They go, oh, my God, we moved from El Paso. Oh, this is terrible, Dad. I said, okay, we'll stay for 3 years. Well, Mike, I think I was with a zero behind it.
That didn't work out. The 3-year plan didn't work so well, did it?
No. And this is home for me. It's absolute home. So, why did I decide to want to serve?
And that's where I kind of wanted to go next is, obviously, we were talking right before, and your current employment, being the CFO for Crumlin Automotive Group and everything, that's still your second job, your retired job. You've done that as a retired, so, you've kind of been in retirement for a bit, but using that term very loosely here. So this is supposed to be your years of you doing what you want. What made you say, A, first off, I'm going to, do my another job here. B, I'm going to, decide to be a lightning rod for the city and sign up for city council here.
Yeah, well, Mike, I did retire, and then almost 7 years ago, I went back to work for the Crumlin Auto Group as their CFO, and one of the things I said, when I talked to Tom about that job was, it's got to be fun. He said, don't worry, we're going to have a lot of fun.
We'll work the fun in.
Yeah, we're fun. So I'm still there, man. So I'm not ready to retire.
So it must be true. Tom worked the fun in. Are you still, you would have,
yeah, and
retired still.
So I looked around, and Mike, I look at the composition that we have on the city council, and it's a diverse group of people that are on there. But one of the things I've seen that has been lacking, and I'm a CPA with 35 plus years of experience working with budgets and finance, and I don't see a lot of that strength on the current council.
Gotcha.
So I said, let me put my name out there and let people make a decision whether they want that as a component of our current city council.
Gotcha. So basically, and let me kind of, if I'm wrong on this, please break me down.
Sure.
But kind of what you're saying is that, when you look at your city council, you kind of want people with various backgrounds and using that expertise in their backgrounds to make decisions here. Obviously, with the accounting, the financial world, everything there, that's something that's very needed on a city council, looking at budgets. Obviously, how a personal or business runs their budgets 10 times different than how a government entity runs their budget. But, having your experience on there adds to that. So you're kind of saying, looking at the 10 we got up there now, you don't necessarily have someone who's got the financial background I have, and I think that would be an asset to this council.
Well, I appreciate that, Mike, and that's absolutely true as well. I look at it because you have diversity, and we need diversity, so that people understand things different and look at things at a different light than maybe someone else would look at it. I always say that if you look something head on, it looks like one thing. If you take maybe a 10-degree angle and look at it again, maybe it's something different than what you really see.
Sure.
So you need to have that input from everyone so that they understand. And the other one was, I want to make sure that the citizens are happy with the way our dollars are spent.
Gotcha.
I've talked to a lot of folks by knocking doors during this election cycle, and have found that a lot of people are not happy. And some of the things they're not happy with, one, we hear about all the time, are our roads. Well, we can't fix those roads all overnight, but maybe we can shift some budget dollars to affect some change in that area.
Okay.
And look and see how effective our dollars are being spent. Do we need to be spending more dollars in fire and police protection? Because that's one of the things a city must provide for its citizens, are the safety and welfare of those individuals.
Okay.
And we do that. So that's what some of the things I'm wanting to look at and be as a councilman, not just for Ward 3 people, but for every citizen.
Just out of curiosity, do you think it's more of a shifting dollars thing, or is it more than that? Is it, look and say, hey, the city has X amount in the general fund we're allowed to use here. We need to put higher proportions of that money towards roads, towards law enforcement, those types of things. Is that enough, or do you think there's now we do that, but we got to get some direction on what we're doing with that money within those departments?
Yeah, it's just like your household budget. You only have X limited amount. Whatever you bring in is all you can spend. And that's the way a city operates. And so, the reallocation of those funds are something that I think needs to be taken a hard look at.
Gotcha.
And I don't know, are there other avenues of state funding that we're missing? Are there avenues of federal funds that we're missing?
Say we're putting all our hooks in all the right streams and everything.
Right.
Gotcha.
That's all. Just make sure that we're exploring, just like in business, we explore every different avenue to see and set a goal. And then we monitor our goal. Sometimes there's a detour in the road, but you got to get back on the road. And that's what you've got to self-judge yourself.
Sure.
Shall I say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, as far as, we, like you said, we've looked at some of the issues in the past here, in the last 8 years, certainly here. And I would, I think it's to say that the city has spent money on facilities here and our thing. Just curiosity on your side. Do you think they're doing it right? Do you think they're close? Do you think they're way off? What's kind of your opinion on some of the modifications and additions that has happened over the last several years here?
Well, the city uses your money and they use my money. And people want to have a voice in the use of that money and how that money gets. We do have a great aquatic center or rec center, what do you want to call it. But a lot of people I've talked to were very unhappy that they did not get a voice in that.
Okay.
So, it's done. It's past. So you got to look towards the future. I would say I would never support a tax that's not looked at by the individual citizens of this community, that they have a voice in saying what they want to do. I hear that. It resonates. This is not just, as I say, it's not about me. It's about we.
Sure.
And you have to listen to what people are saying.
Yeah. I would guess, too, just because of what your day job is, dealing with, because I imagine even as the CFO, you're constantly dealing with customers and things who, let's face it, buying a car is arguably the second biggest purchase a family makes usually in their time as a family. And so you probably talk a lot of numbers, talk a lot of financing, just in general with people, in their general finances through your day job there. So I imagine you probably get a chance to see, what a lot of people are thinking when it comes to their money and where it's going.
Right. And I do that with customers. I do that with our employees as well.
Yeah. Trying
to educate people. Part of what I do is about their finances and what they do, and live inside your budget And if you want more, but you want a bigger budget, then you got to go out and find a way to increase the income side of that as well.
Gotcha.
And I know as a young man, I used to work 2 jobs because I wanted to create my economic structure a little different than that. Not that that's not for everyone,
sure,
but that's the way I've always been driven. How do I expand my economic base?
Sure.
And in a city, part of how we expand our economic base is growth. That's how we're going to help expand our economic base here.
Sure.
It's a sad thing. We didn't quite get to 50,000 people again.
Which I still think we have. I just don't know. I mean,
where are they?
I drive the streets of this town, and we're a busy community, and it's a lot busier than it was 10 years ago. It's a lot busier than it was 20 years ago.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
The account, it missed them, whether it was COVID related or whatever happened.
Yeah.
But with new construction going on in this community, there's more than 50,000 people.
Yeah.
But we missed it, and we should never let that happen again.
Yeah. So let me ask. Obviously, Ward 3, you have those issues in Ward 3, but as a city councilor, you're making decisions that impact the entire city. I do want to talk a little bit about the airport here. I mean, obviously, that's a big area. I would say, and I think yourself and many others agree, that can be a linchpin to Southeast New Mexico's ticket to really, bringing us in. Bringing in more business, bringing in more people, but growth. That's kind of a linchpin to, I think, growth, not just for Roswell, but for Southeast New Mexico. How that's being done right now, your thoughts on that? Do you think it's a good partnership that cities working with other entities? Do you think it's not working? What's kind of your thoughts on that realm right now?
Well, I've said for a long time that's probably the greatest asset that the city has, besides its people. That's the best asset we have. But a physical asset, that airport has sit out there, and it's sat there and basically been idled for many, many years. It, at one point in time, was the longest runway in North America. I don't know where it ranks now. Maybe
it's still right up there.
It's still right up there. It was a B-52 base. And so, I know the city now has gone on track. We've got a new hangar being built out there. That's a big start in going in the right direction, I believe, to create some growth in this community. And bringing some good paying jobs in as well. How much more can be done? I know we got the Mike Esperito at the Economic Development is doing a great job trying to bring in additional businesses as well. I think we have to work hand in hand with the city, the county, Economic Development, and the university out here. Put all those components together and help drive some growth and define what's needed out there at that airbase, which will bring additional jobs in here.
Gotcha.
I think the university's doing its part with that airframe mechanics program that they have.
Yeah, they see the writing on the wall and see the place that they are located, and they're saying, well, let's offer programs that match the facilities we have here.
That's exactly right. I don't remember how long you've been here, Mike, but back when we had an oil boom and a shortage of people to work on drilling rigs and things, that university had an oil drilling program out there. So they're being responsive and trying to help with the growth of this community as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back to Ward 3 here. Obviously, you've probably been knocking on doors and visiting.
Yeah.
What's the folks in Ward 3? What's been some of the issues? I don't know if it's Ward 3 specific or city specific, but what's some common problems or issues or common things that people are talking to you about?
Yeah. Well, Mike, I was in Ward 2, and then we redrew the district map, so Ward 3 is...
And you haven't moved since last
I haven't
election.
moved. I'm still in the same house. I've been in that same house for 36 years. But the boundary lines did move on me, and it's a large landmass ward. If you look on the map, that runs all the way from the north, almost to the city limits on the north end and west, and it runs all the way past 2nd Street.
And that was the one area where you live at, particularly, is kind of where the lines got. For the most part, the wards were pretty much the same, except that one area, and so folks that formerly were in 2 are now in 3, and probably vice versa. So if you're in that area, you might want to confirm and double check before you go vote, just to clarify.
That's true, because I've knocked on some doors and people go, I don't know what ward I'm in now. And I go, well, I'll tell you what ward you're in, because I'm running for Ward 3.
But I had to do some checking.
But go back to your question, Mike. The common thread that people are talking about, again, I keep hearing it. Roads.
That's the big one.
That seems to be the big one that I hear from people. And I said, well, that's a priority. And again, I talk about shifting of funds in the budget that would go towards that. And what's beneficial, as again, I go back, what's beneficial to all? That's what we have to look at, and that's where I'm hearing people say is roads, roads, and roads.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So let's go let's go good side. Like, let's look, things you're seeing that the city are doing right now, or programs, entities. Is there anything that you really like, man, they nailed it, I want to invest more time, money, effort into that? Is there things you're seeing right now citywide that you would like to see more done with that we're doing, or that are going in the right direction?
Well, let's talk about the airport. I think they're headed in the right direction with that airport. Because like I said, I've been here 38 years or 36, whatever the number is. And that thing sat out there for a long time, nothing happening. Nothing.
Sure.
And so now they've taken, along with the city and the county, we know we got those $5 million of funds couple of years ago to build some infrastructure out there. That's headed in the right direction. And so what's the master plan? That's what I'm interested in. What is the city's master plan, and can that master plan fit in with what the county's master plan is to create that driver for economic growth out at that airport? Going in the right way. And let's just pick that momentum and let's build on it and make it bigger and make it stronger.
Absolutely. I do want to ask a little bit with, we were talking redistricting here in our city, but obviously statewide, that's a bigger thing. And I know this is a municipal election, but at the same time, assuming you get elected, you're about to serve on a city council where now Chavez County sits in a county where we got 3 congressional districts and things. Do you think, as a city councilor, that's I would imagine, you have to anticipate some interesting things that may come across this city council over the next 4 years, especially with the political climate of the state right now?
Yeah, you're right, Mike. They carved up Roswell into 3 different districts, shall we say, 1, 2, and 3 congressional districts. I don't know how that serves anyone when they did that. I mean, you could be in District 1, I could be in District 2, and a common friend we have, it could be in District 3.
Yeah, we're all in the same town.
All in the same town.
Or same county, yeah.
And so, I'm hoping that someone is taking a hard look at that and will test that in the court system to see how that thing really worked, because it's divisive.
Yeah.
And how do we get someone in Congressional Seat 1 to pay attention to us down here in Roswell and Chavez County?
Sure.
That's going to be difficult for us.
I just didn't know if you thought, like, maybe as a city council that might propose just interesting things that may come across, or ordinances that need to be put in place because of, the way the climate lives right now.
It's always wonderful how people think they're smarter than you and I, and how they need to make things for us that we can't make our own decision on.
Sure. I want to, from your business perspective, I want to, and this is me just curious, your experiences. Obviously, as a city, we want our city to partner with our businesses, our residents, and everything else. Obviously, with your experience and your impact working in a business in the city of Roswell, probably even as CFO, you've probably had to deal with a lot of city officials and things to navigate what you're trying to do that doesn't get to Tom's desk here. I got to know your experience personally, and as a member of the Crumlin Auto Group, has that relationship been good? And do you see do you think our city does do a good job of maintaining and working relationships with some of our businesses in our community like that? Because I bet you see it from the business perspective every day. So I'm just curious to see what you think about that.
Yeah, I do, Mike. In my prior life to Crumlin Auto Group, I was a CFO for the Robert O. Anderson family. So I go with way back, shall I say, in dealing with the city and the county. And I have relationships, I've had relationships with city officials, county officials, state officials as well. And we'll bring those relationships to help with the city council.
Gotcha.
Every day we have something we have to deal with, that we have regulations, whether they be city regulations, whether they be county regulations, state or federal, and how we have to adapt, and how does that affect us, and what cost does that put into our business? What is the benefit for that regulation? And sometimes And so you go, okay, I understand that regulation because there's one bad apple over here that has spoiled the whole barrel, and they've got to do something about it, so therefore they change the rules on all of us.
Gotcha.
But we need to make sure that some of these rule changes, whether they be local or state or federal, what do they do to a business? Do they hinder their growth? Think those things through, and what happens to the ultimate end user.
Sure.
Sometimes those things get passed, and that's not what's thought about.
Yeah.
What is the whole?
Sure. And, since we're talking that too, obviously COVID has thrown a huge wrinkle in the last couple of years and things, and I'm sure you've seen that too. Your opinion, how the city handled the whole COVID from their perspective, good job, bad job, somewhere in between, just what are your
I think
thoughts on
probably
that?
somewhere in between. Some of that they were mandated by Santa Fe, and I will tell you, I will fight against every mandate against Santa Fe when it comes to those kind of things. What we did to our jobs, what we did to the economy,
Gotcha.
what we did to the
So
young
kind of with
people.
the mayor standing up, telling that you support all that.
I support that. We're not,
okay.
What we've done to these young children in our education cycle for the last 2 years was absolutely terrible. And we're not going to see what that really, the benefit, I don't see what the benefit was.
Sure.
But I see that there's probably going to be some problems associated with that, and it's starting to come out now. And I would never do that. I'm a believer that freedom of choice.
Gotcha. Let me ask, too, with relationships and things, since I know we're talking a little bit about, obviously.
Are you talking about my wife?
Yeah, you know what? I'll let that, you and your pastor, your guidance counselor figure that one out there, our counselor. But when it comes to, the city and its relationships and with the counties, with the things, your opinion, is there anywhere missing the boat on? Is it, or we're doing too much for? What is your thought? Like, and how our overall relationships with the business community, the city, I'm talking about, with the counties and other municipalities. Just, do you think we're nailing it? Do you think we're missing the boat on some of this, or somewhere in between?
Well, Mike, I think we've had some dealings. I've had some dealings with the city myself personally,
sure,
and also with business, and I don't find them unreasonable.
Gotcha.
I find that
So you think they got it?
I think
that part they're nailing.
And I think they're trying to work harder to get it.
Gotcha.
I really do. I think we've got a city manager who understands some things. That's not an easy job being a city manager for this city.
Yeah, you're kind of the...
You got 600 some employees that you're responsible for.
Yeah, and let's face it, anything that the council, creates, the city manager, agree, disagree, has to make happen.
That's exactly right. He may not agree with anything of it. He may not agree with any of it, but he's got to make it happen.
Exactly,
and so, I think the council has to have a good relationship with the city manager because we are a city-managed city.
Sure. Well, and it's a unique relationship, much like a superintendent and school board, where, in theory, the city council, if you're looking for pecking orders, is higher on the food chain than the county or city manager here.
Right.
But the council has to kind of beat to the drum that the city manager is beating, if that makes sense.
Well, that does. It's just no different than a large company where you have a board of directors who sets the tone and policies, and then you have a president, and a chief operating officer, and a chief financial officer, and they carry out those orders. And it's up to the city council to monitor that. And is it going the way of the desires of the citizens?
Sure.
And the citizens are the ones that the city council has to report to.
Gotcha.
So it's a fair balance, shall I say?
And I want to also talk with you a little bit about financial too, because like you said earlier, one of the things you bring to the table is your financial experience, and having that experience on city council is something that would be treasured and needed. So let me ask this: as well as I do, government finances and private business finances are two beasts altogether here. A, kind of explain that difference, and B, kind of talk about how you, how you plan on, understand that concept and plan to work that too. Because I think, and I'm talking too much right now, but city finances, obviously they're not designed to make a profit like a company would be or anything like that. So you have to treat where things go and where it comes from differently. But, kind of explain that and how the private sector, and using some of that knowledge can help and actually in the government side.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Mike, that there is commonality is when you waste $1 in business, you don't get it back. When you waste $1 in city government, you don't get it back.
Yeah.
So, you got to make sure that your dollars that you do have are being effective and not wasted. And so that's one of the things I look at is in business, are we wasting some dollars? Are those monies being effectively spent to create revenue? We look at it as creating revenue and creating profits. So, but it's no different than the city. Are we spending those dollars so that they're effective for the services that we're providing for the community?
Gotcha.
They're very similar in those avenues. So that's one of the things I want to look at because again, don't waste it.
Yeah.
You don't get her back.
Sure. And one of the other things too that people, and I think every citizen should understand is when a government entity gets money, it's not like your house where someone says, "Here's $20. Oh, we're going to use it and buy dinner tonight."
Right.
Or we're going to put in savings for.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, when the government gets money via grant or whatever, depending on where it comes from, it's earmarked for something specific. Oh, we got a grant, but it's for beautification of this. Or we got a grant, but it's only earmarked for the convention center. We got a grant, but we can only, or vice versa. No, we got a thing, it goes into our general fund, we can put it wherever we want to with it, and so where money comes from kind of dictates where it goes to sometimes. And that's a little different than a personal fund where someone says, Aunt Hilda just sent you $1,000. Oh, great. But you got to use it for this now. You do whatever where you see best.
Yeah, I can take a vacation if I want to. We can't take a vacation on city fund money, but you're absolutely right. The city's constrained, just like any other government entity is constrained by the rules and regulations associated with that money coming to it. And so again, though, but you want to make sure that is effectively spent.
Sure, absolutely.
No matter what the rules that they put on that money coming to the city.
Yeah.
If it was for beautification, okay, let's define what beautification means, what defines where we're going to put that beautification, and so you have some leeway in some of that, but again, effectively spending it.
Gotcha. I'm kind of curious, and this is just a gee whiz, and we're running out of time, but I want to, because you're a financial guy, I want to ask this. When obviously cities, municipalities, companies, they have credit ratings just like the average person does. Are they exactly like because I've heard it touted where they'll talk about, it's like, well, the city's got a great credit rating, we're going to be able to do this and this and this.
Right.
I'm just curious, does that mean something? Like how does a business or a government's credit rating, is it similar to you and I's personal credit rating, or is it a different animal altogether?
No, I think they're somewhat similar, Mike, because you look at a credit rating and it's all, what is your risk factor? With those that are loaning you money, will say, well, he's not a very good risk, so the risk associated with that, I've got to tack on a little higher interest rate to cover what I think is my risk of default. And the same thing with the city. If we have a great credit rating, when the city ever goes out to borrow funds on bond issues, we'll get a better rate than what's the city who doesn't have that. People always look at, well, what's my credit score? Top's credit score is 850. You go all the way down. Banks will look at people just like they look at municipalities. What is their credit score?
Gotcha.
And what's their effective cost of borrowing?
Gotcha.
So they're very similar.
Okay, I just didn't know if it meant the same, like a good, an A rating or whatever they call it, is the same as me having an 800 credit score. Or is that like they give that out to everybody, and as long as you pay your bills, you're gonna, you know what I mean? It's kind of like you hear we're recommended by the Better Business. Like, what does that mean? Is that something that's tangible,
I think
or is that
part
just
of that
something?
is you're recommended by the Better Business Bureau. You paid your dues.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, does that mean I paid my $150 a year dues?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, well, we're out of time here, but I want to leave the last minute here for you to talk about anything that we didn't get a chance to talk about that you want to make sure you tell people out there that about you, about the campaign that we just didn't get a chance to talk about.
I can't believe the time's already up.
Yeah,
Mike.
I know, we're going by quick.
Yeah, it really does. I've just enjoyed visiting with you this morning, and hopefully I've reached some people out there listening to you. I know everyone listens to Mike Winters in the morning, but
at least one or two.
Yeah, I know my wife's listening, so
yeah, be careful.
Yeah, you're right.
I've gone down that hill where I say things and I get home later and find out that wasn't so cool.
Yeah, Mike, I just started out to say I want to give the voters of Ward 3 a choice, and let them make the decision. They know I have a strong financial background, like I said earlier. They know that I will look after their dollars just like I've looked after everyone that I've been employed with. I look after their dollars as well. And I just want to give them an opportunity to say, that's what I'm looking for in a city councilor, to bring some diversity to that city council, which does not truly exist today.
Very good.
So, again, Mike, I've said it, and it's not about me. It's about we, and that is collectively with everyone in this community.
If anybody's listening, wants to talk to you, get a hold of you, ask you questions, maybe ask for yard signs, all the election stuff. What's the best way to get a hold of you?
Well, believe it or not, Mike, I have a landline.
What's that? It's a rotary phone.
Yeah,
it's still got an 8-foot cord, the whole thing.
Oh yeah, hangs on the wall.
I have a landline, but it's through the internet, so I really don't even have a landline.
Yeah, they can reach and leave a message on my landline, which is 624-0339.
Okay.
Or my cell number is 575-317-4267.
Very good. Do you have a Facebook page? Or
no, Mike, I'm not a Facebook person.
Okay.
I just never have gotten to that level of technology in my life.
Gotcha. Yeah. Very good. But reach out, come on by the Crumlin Group, and if you're not, if you're looking for a car, anybody can help you there. If you're looking for Ed, then just come on. And, call ahead, maybe get an appointment there.
Yeah,
He does have a day job.
Yeah, they do have expectations and things I need to accomplish
every day. Hang out and drink their coffee and leave.
Yeah, I wouldn't be a very effective leader if I did that.
You won't be a very CFO for very long.
No. Mike, you're wonderful.
Thank you. Appreciate it, and we look forward. And of course, if you get elected here at any time, we'd love to have you come on and as city councilor and keep us up to date. Appreciate it.
I hope so, Mike.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, it is 7:51. Let's pause for some news and a quick break to pay for my lunch. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. We begin with a developing story out of Roswell where a woman has been arrested and charged with voluntary manslaughter after a deadly shooting during an argument and fight. RPD officers arrived to the home in the 900 block of Caminacito and found the shooter, 26-year-old Melissa Kenyon, and her boyfriend Uriah Shields outside the home. They were both ID'd and detained there. Inside the home, police said they found 51-year-old Cassandra Kirkman dead of a gunshot wound in a bedroom. RPD says Kenyon called police to report that she had shot Kirkman. She's now being held for voluntary manslaughter. Shields was also arrested for being a convicted felon in possession of a gun. The Eddy County Sheriff's Office currently hiring both certified and uncertified deputies. If you have any questions about the requirements, benefits, or the hiring process, you can contact recruiter Sergeant Gracie Gonzalez, 575-887-7551. You can apply and find more information online at eddycounty.org. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
The disastrous Beijing Winter Olympics ended last night, and a universally uninterested America couldn't have cared. Every night of this PR train wreck saw the smallest American audience in Olympic history. But the Chinese government made the whole thing look like a smashing success. How'd they do that? I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs. Post a job for free and find qualified candidates quickly at linkedin.com/Kim. The PR disaster began on the first night when the Chinese government thugs wrestled the microphone away from a Norwegian reporter and strong-armed him away on live television. Doping scandals and temper tantrums followed. But online, all was well, using an array of digital tools, bots disguised as fans, fake online accounts, influencers, real people paid by China, all worked tirelessly to edit how and what the world saw. Regardless of the truth, they promoted anything that bolstered the official Chinese feel-good story they wanted you to see, if you were watching at all. Get breaking tech news at commando.com.
So many of us just don't take our online privacy as seriously as we should be. But using the internet without ExpressVPN is like taking a call on a train or a bus on speakerphone, and then everyone can hear it. You don't know who has access to your most private sensitive information. That's why I use ExpressVPN. Your internet service provider knows every single website that you visit. And here in the United States, they can legally sell this information to advertising companies and tech giants who then will use your data to target you. ExpressVPN creates a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet, so people just can't peep on your online activity and see what you're doing. Just fire up the app and click one button. It works on phones, laptops, even routers. So this way, everyone who shares your Wi-Fi can also be protected. Secure your online activity today at expressvpn.com/Kim, and you're going to get an extra 3 months free. That's expressvpn.com/Kim for 3 extra months of service for free. expressvpn.com/Kim.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report to be continued. That seems to be the story for the Goddard Boys Basketball District because Goddard fell on Friday night at home to Artesia. Final score was 51-47. Goddard stormed back from a 13-point deficit in the fourth quarter, but lost the game. So tonight, it's Goddard against Artesia at 6 o'clock in Hagerman to decide who gets the top seed in the district tournament, which will be taking place this week. So it's a big game tonight in Hagerman. The Goddard girls, meanwhile, secured second place in district by knocking off Artesia 46-33. As far as Roswell is concerned, they'll both be playing in district tournament action on Tuesday at Clovis because both of those Roswell teams, the boys and girls, fell to Clovis on Friday night. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The U.S. Embassy announced Friday that Washington is lifting a ban on inspections of Mexican avocados, paving the way for exports to resume. The suspension of inspections had threatened Mexico's $3 billion annual exports and raised the possibility of price increases for U.S. consumers. The inspections were halted last week after one of the U.S. inspectors was threatened. Auto parts retailer and distributor AutoZone will establish a new distribution and import facility in Virginia, creating over 350 new jobs. The company will invest over $185 million to establish the 800,000 square foot facility east of Richmond, Virginia, and will serve as AutoZone's East Coast distribution hub. On Wall Street Friday, the Dow down 232 points, the Nasdaq down 168, and the S&P 500 fell 31. The markets will be closed Monday in observance of President's Day. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Ed Heldenbrand, candidate for City Council. He's a patriot fighting against the waste of your tax dollars. As a CPA and Chief Financial Officer with over 35 years of experience, Ed understands the importance of managing budgets. By reducing the wasteful spending in the budget, we can lower your city water, sanitation costs, and work to reduce city fees. Roswell's potential is hurt by bad ideas and wasteful spending. Ed Hildebrand will never vote to shut down Roswell. He'll fight the job, education, and freedom-killing mandates from Santa Fe. It's important that taxpayers see improvements in our roads and city services to attract jobs, businesses, tourists, and to create an environment for local businesses to thrive. In Ward 3, you have a choice. Vote Ed Heldenbrand, the conservative candidate. With your vote, we can build a better Roswell.
I'm Ed Heldenbrand, City Council candidate for Ward 3, asking for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. It's not about me, it's about we, and I approve this message.
When it comes to the security of your home or business, you want a local company, not a faceless national company, but one that has a personal investment right here in Southeast New Mexico. Xena Security Services is your local Honeywell dealer, and they specialize in service after the sale. They can handle all of your business and residential alarm and cameras, as well as home theater installation, all with contracts on your terms and all from a local company. The real Xena Security Services, right here in Southeast New Mexico. Call today, 626-3521. Protection with a local touch.
Austin Industrial is currently seeking a janitorial staff position to work in the Holly Frontier Refinery. You will be responsible for cleaning and sanitizing offices, meeting rooms, bathrooms, kitchen and dining room, and public areas. No minimum education requirements are needed, no experience is required, and pay is $13.50 an hour for this full-time 40-hour-a-week position. Apply at austin-ind.com or call Miss Cookie Look at 832-657-3385. Austin Industrial is an equal employment opportunity employer.
Fall in love and save this month at Roswell Nissan. Sweet deals across the lot so your wallet can feel the love. Get a 2015 Chrysler 200 for only $195 a month, a 2017 Versa for only $185 a month, or a 2012 Chevy Sonic for only $135 a month. 0 down, no payments for 90 days, and $2,000 guaranteed on your trade. So drag it in. Plus, stop by for a box of sweets and spin the wheel. Get a box of chocolates with a test drive and a $30 Pasta Cafe gift card with purchase. Fall in love at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
Pecans are a big deal here in Chaves County. We have some of the biggest orchards in the country, and lots of us have pecan trees in our yards. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Whether you have one pecan tree or 1,000 of them, this time of year, every pecan tree needs fertilizing. So come see us at Roswell Seed Company, and we'll get you fixed up with the right fertilizer for your pecan trees, so that next year, your nuts will be big and beautiful. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. There may be a Biden-Putin summit, provided there's no Russian invasion of Ukraine.
In a last-minute diplomatic development brokered by France, Presidents Biden and Putin have agreed to meet in principle as long as Russia holds off on launching an assault. Details of a potential meeting will be discussed on Thursday when Secretary of State Blinken sits down with his Russian counterpart in Europe. The high-stakes negotiations continue as the White House warns that Moscow could soon carry out a full-scale attack on Ukraine. Greg Clugston, Washington.
And White House National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan is stressing that diplomacy remains the administration's preferred option for resolving the Ukraine impasse,
including at the highest level. So when President Macron asked President Biden yesterday if he was prepared in principle to meet with President Putin if Russia did not invade, of course, President Biden said yes.
Sullivan on NBC's Today Show, an estimated 150,000 Russian troops are camped out on Ukraine's doorstep, and there have been hostilities along the border separating Ukraine's military from Russia-backed rebels in the east. Fearing an Ottawa-like truckers' protest at the U.S. Capitol, authorities are planning to reinstall fencing around the Capitol for President Biden's March 1st State of the Union speech. And there has been some talk of truckers converging on Washington, D.C., just as they did on the Canadian Capitol, where almost 200 demonstrators had been arrested as of yesterday morning. New Mexico Republican Congresswoman Yvette Herald planning legislation offering temporary asylum to Canada's Freedom Convoy truckers who've been protesting vaccine mandates and other COVID-related restrictions in recent weeks. No trading on Wall Street today. The market is closed in observance of President's Day. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm cute kid number 1. And I'm cute kid number 2. And we have been forced, you mean hired? We have been hired to tell you what direct lender FOMO is. So let's say you buy a new home, and maybe you use one of those big mortgage monsters. Or someone your realtor or friend recommends. And then a few months later, you hear us being forced, hired to tell you about our mortgage team's direct lender advantage. And then you feel like you missed out, because you probably did miss out. And that is direct lender FOMO.
It's Ryan, and our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions within its own walls. There's no middleman. This often allows us to get you a better rate on that new home mortgage, saving you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Melville Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage maker. For all licensing information, go to NMLS-Consumer-Access.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Bracket NMLS number 65233. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
The International Court of Justice holding public hearings over allegations that Myanmar's government is guilty of genocide against Rohingya Muslims.
Proving genocide at the International Court of Justice is known to be a difficult and lengthy process. But human rights groups hope that the case filed by the Gambia against Myanmar can bring some justice and accountability to the persecuted Rohingya minority. However, the trial has now also become a contest over who should represent Myanmar in court. The military government has sent its own representative to argue that the Gambia does not even have the jurisdiction to file the genocide case. But the rival National Unity government, formed by officials and politicians from the ousted administration, insists that it should represent Myanmar.
The BBC's Jonathan Head. Rescuers continuing a search inside a burning ferry anchored off the Greek island of Corfu. 10 people remain missing. Townhall.com. A 23-year-old driver wins at Daytona.
Austin Cindric, a rookie for Roger Penske's racing team, hovered around the front of the pack for most of the day in the Daytona 500, and when it came time to make the move for the win, he executed it perfectly. Leading 4 times for 21 laps, Cindric said he knew he had a car to win, but also knew that anything can happen, and usually does in the Daytona 500. Bubba Wallace crossed the finish line in second after thinking he was in the right spot to overtake Cindric. It just didn't happen. This was the second Daytona 500 runner-up finish of Wallace's career. Jerry Jordan, Daytona Beach, Florida.
Average daily COVID cases as well as hospitalizations continuing to fall in the U.S., an indicator that the Omicron variant's hold is weakening across the country. The total confirmed cases reported Saturday barely exceeding 100,000, a sharp downturn from around 800,000 on January 16th. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. The DJ, the traveler said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2
The Diggity Deuce
of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy President's Day.
Indeed.
Welcome to Monday. And I just learned 3 seconds ago that bigger than President's Day.
That's right.
It is one Tanner Todd's birthday today.
Absolutely.
So,
happy birthday to Hard R.
Yeah, Hard R, Tanner R.
You know what's funny? I used to be like the guy that remembered everybody's birthdays. Like I had like the steel trap birthday mind.
So far, you still got it.
Well, here's the thing.
I didn't know this information.
Facebook has made that superpower I used to have completely useless. Because Facebook tells you. But
unless you don't check that off.
Here's the key. If you want to be a good friend, you have to wish someone a happy birthday before 9 a.m. Before 8 a.m. Because 8 a.m.
is when they release the...
I don't know if the time change has anything to do with it, but 8 a.m. is when the birthday note pops up. So if you can get to them before the notification pops up in your Facebook,
you're knowledgeable.
You're a good friend.
Very good.
I was not a good friend today.
I was not either.
On my screen.
So happy birthday, Tanner. I'm like him. I don't... you know what? I turn that off on my Facebook.
Do you?
Yeah. So I don't get the 37,000 happy birthdays anymore. I turned that off.
I have a friend who he doesn't have his own personal Facebook. His Facebook is like an amalgamation of like people, like characters that he likes, and that's his personal Facebook page. But the birthday on that Facebook page is January 1st. And so every January 1st, it's just like, happy birthday, brother, happy birthday. He's like, this is not my birthday. The real ones know. And he does that on purpose so, the real ones will actually come out of the wood.
Mine's not nefarious or not nefarious. I don't, because I know people feel obligated when they do it. I'm like, don't worry about it. I get you. I don't love you or hate you any more or less because you didn't say happy birthday to me on my birthday. Okay.
Well, my mindset always goes to, okay, did they wish me a happy birthday on my birthday? It's like, I want to make sure to return that favor.
And in all fairness, I rarely reply on Facebook because I'm not on Facebook. That's what I get on there and look and then I leave. I don't comment on things. I don't, because I rarely. Once in a while I get a wild hair and I'll put something, and it's usually just not important. It's just something funny or off the cuff.
Right.
But I just don't, because I well, you've heard my thoughts of social media. I'm not.
You have way too much going on to spend all that time on social media. No, I totally.
I really don't.
I know, but you're way too busy watching TV, spending time with your wife, taking care of your cats. You have way too much going on.
I don't care.
Right.
And I'm an introvert. I'm telling everybody right now. I mean, I love talking. I love being on the radio and talking with people. But when at 10 a.m. when the thing goes off, I don't want to have.
Dude, I'm the same way. I was telling Mike earlier. He's like, "How was your weekend?" I was like, "I did nothing. I cleaned my whole house. I spent most of my time inside, and I loved it."
Well, my wife and I were great. We've been dealing with the cold and everything,
right?
And so I feel pretty good now. I mean, I got a little bit of snot hanging in there, but for the most part, I feel good. I got a decent amount of energy. I've got, you know what I mean?
You're not going to be running marathons anytime soon, but you weren't before, so it's fine.
Exactly. I'm the fat roundness that I was prior to. But anyway, I'm just not like that. That's not my thing. And so it's a little opposite. And believe it or not, I know people won't believe this one. I'm not an ego person. I mean, I have an ego as much as some people do.
Pride, every man has pride, has an ego to an extent, but
I'm just one of those people that like I try not to positively or negatively impact me that way. Like I mean, I care what people think.
Sure.
That's not it at all. But
everybody does to an extent. But
yes, I've made up my mind to not let other people's thoughts of me or about me impact what I do.
Thing is, I'm not here to impress you. I'm here to do my job. Yeah. I'm here to do a good job. And I'm here to be a good dad. That's like the reason I'm here.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I wouldn't even say like impress you. No. I want you to like me.
Yeah, of course.
I want people to like me. Sure. I want to be liked. I want to like people back. But at the same time, like I get stuff like for instance, I get comments. Like we got one, was it last week or whatever it was? Somebody emailed something like, "Does Mike ever stop talking?"
Oh yeah.
No, I don't. No. I don't, because this is what I do.
When you are tasked with filling 60 minutes of radio with sound, and you don't have music as a backup, that is a challenge.
Yeah.
So yes, we talk a lot. We learn to fill empty space.
Yeah.
That's it was part of working radio.
Yes, and you know what? Probably not wrong. Probably, I do talk a lot, and I'm aware of that. Sometimes I go over the top. I'm fully aware of it, but at the same time, if I let every time someone says stuff like that get to me, I'd go crazy.
Right.
I would just lose my mind, and I would go crazy.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. It's one of those things that's hard to wrap your head around. You hear these comments, and they're hard to.
It's like, I just want to know I like you a lot. Thank you. I got a text through that.
Speak on, Winters. Speak on.
I'm not looking for that. I promise I'm not. I get that a lot, and to mitigate that from impacting me, I go not scorched earth. I just don't.
Yeah.
I don't go that way at all, one way or the other. Like you also, I'm also the worst person at promoting myself when it comes to. People are like, you should. No, it's not my. I feel weird doing that.
Build your brand up. It's like, no.
I don't. I'm not RG3.
There's a lot that like a lot of like perks in the idea of building up a brand, but it's also it seems like a lot to maintain.
I'm not a company. I'm a dude, and
right.
and I don't think I need an online presence to dictate like my brand. I just I find that disingenuous. I find it not me. So that's not.
I like the fact that any recommendation I make to someone, it's like a genuine recommendation. Like I'm not paid by someone, because I like to think that I have at least a semi decent amount of influence as far as like in Roswell goes, at least.
Yeah.
So I don't want to lead somebody down a path of like, oh well, I was paid for this.
Yeah. Well, see, maybe that's just it. Maybe I say things and I just say it because that's what I believe.
You know what it is? It's integrity.
Integrity. Farms.
That's right. We're just too chock full of integrity to let our morals slip out.
I believe if you do what y'all want to do, I got my things. This is how I navigate my life.
Yeah.
It's worked pretty good for me. I share that information. If it don't work for you, so be it. You do you. I have a way of things, but I believe that. We live in a place where y'all do what you want, man, and let me do what I want, and that's how we get along. But anyway.
Fellow man and all.
Soapbox done. Let me give you the rundown of what's happening this hour of the show.
Oh, yes.
We'll get you up to date with the weather here in just a few. Whether or not you like it, that's another thing. It's a little mixed bag. Like today's going to be warm. It's going to be windy. We got fire weather watches and red flag warnings and all that mess being issued today. But
so if you like warm wind in your face.
That's right. Today's going to feel like you're living in that big beehive hairdresser thing at the, back in the day when they had those hair dryer deals. I mean, what happened to that technology? Is that still around? I don't hang out in beauty shops. I don't know.
Every like salon that I've been into, and I don't go into them very often because I actually have a friend cut my hair now in her kitchen.
I don't have hair, so that's my problem.
But everyone I've been into, like in the past couple of years, they have those. They still have them in the back. I never see them used. Yeah. But everybody still has at least 2 of them.
You think it's like a radio station where there's like a reel-to-reel machine?
Yeah. There's like everybody has the cart tower somewhere in the building. Exactly. We don't use that anymore, but we keep it as like an homage.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, and I always mention this, but to me, it's one of the coolest, unique things that it's weird looking is in the historical society in the home. There, they have like an early 1900s version of that hair dryer deal in there,
right?
And it looks like some kind of weird torture device.
Do you think it's like how our boss keeps a grandfather clock in the office to pay homage to WKRP? They do it to like pay homage to like BAPS or something.
It's some reason. Maybe.
Yeah. That's all I think. BAPS was literally the only one I could come up with. It was like, they were always about a hairdresser. Designing women, maybe, I guess.
Flo from from Alice. All right, it is 8:15. We're going to have James Edwards, candidate for City Council, Ward 1. He'll be joining us here in just a little bit. We'll have a great conversation with him. Before we do any of that, though, let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cold front and low pressure will be affecting our weather over the next few days. It'll be sunny today, but the wind will be gusting to 45 miles per hour. Afternoon high in the mid-70s. Overnight looks partly cloudy, down to the mid-30s and breezy. Then another breezy day coming up on Tuesday. We'll hit about 70 for the afternoon high and sunny. A lot cooler on Wednesday, upper 40s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, 47 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 16%. Kind of low, hence the reason we're in these advisories and warnings here. I'll get to that in a second. Winds currently out of the southeast at 9 miles per hour. Wind advisory, that will kick in at 11 today through 6 p.m. this evening. Red flag warning will kick in at 10 a.m. this morning, remaining in effect through 6 p.m. this evening. All of that because of, that humidity is at 16%, and we got some winds coming through the area. They're saying mostly sunny and a high of 74 today. That's the good news. The not so good news is it's going to be windy. They're talking southwest winds 10 to 20 early, increasing 20 to 30, gusting as high as 40 miles per hour this afternoon. So expect areas of blowing dust and all that stuff this afternoon. Mostly clear tonight with an overnight low of 34 degrees. Winds will remain breezy out of the southwest, 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. Those winds will decrease down 10 to 15 after midnight tonight. For you Tuesday, still kind of warm, sunny, highs right around 70. Winds will be not as breezy tomorrow. South winds 10 to 20. So a little windy, but not like today. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 28 degrees, southwest winds 15 to 20, decrease in 10 to 15 after midnight. And then looking at the rest of the week, cooler starting on Wednesday. Sunny, highs only near 50 on Wednesday, with northeast winds 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies, a high of 57. Friday, sunny, highs near 50, 49 officially is what they're saying. And then looking at the weekend, mostly sunny, 54 Saturday, sunny, and 61 on Sunday. All right, it is 8:18. We're going to take a 4-minute commercial break, and then we're going to have City Council candidate in Ward 1, James Edwards, join us here on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
A good night's sleep is so important. Did you know that proper sleep supports a healthy heart, decreases chances of weight gain, and boosts a positive mood? Hi, this is Dr. Sarah Usher with Carabelli Dental. It doesn't matter your age, sleeping issues can make any of us reach for that all-day cup of coffee. If you know you are not sleeping because of severe snoring or sleep apnea, come visit us. We can make you a small oral appliance that will help you sleep better and live better.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 622-4455.
Where can you find the best selection of beautiful and unique home decor in the region? Easy, Casa Decor in Ruidoso. For years, people from all over have come to Casa Decor for the best selection of rustic, real wood furniture, beautiful decor from the Southwest and beyond, and quality outdoor furniture and accessories that are built to last a lifetime. At Casa Decor, they have over 10,000 square feet of showroom for everything you need. Casa Decor opens 7 days a week from 9:30 to 5 at 1214 Meacham Drive in Ruidoso, or online at casadecorruidoso.com. Proud supporter of local high school sports.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
When you're not feeling well, the last thing you want to worry about is how soon you can get in to see your healthcare provider, or even finding a provider if you don't have one. Well, now you can feel better, knowing that the Loveless Healthcare Center in Roswell offers appointments for when you're not feeling well, or for checkups, annual exams, or any chronic issues that need attention. To schedule an appointment or to find a new healthcare provider, call 575-625-3222 today.
Attention dart enthusiasts, shooters, or just plain old chuckers. B&B Newsstand in downtown Artesia is the only place for quality dart supplies and dart boards. Plus, find wacky adult gifts like novelty socks and cup towels, candleberry candles, Zippo lighters, and so much more. Come in and browse all the cool stuff at B&B Newsstand. You won't be disappointed. Root beer floats, Coke floats, and the best fountain drinks in town can only be found at B&B Newsstand on the corner of Main and Roselawn in downtown Artesia. Open Monday through Friday from 11 to 7.
Roswell is our home. That's why we've all got to do our part to stop illegal dumping. Throwing your trash, clutter, or yard debris in the alleys, sidewalks, or streets is a crime, and it takes time and money to clean it up. Those caught dumping illegally can face fines of up to $500. You can help by taking your waste to the landfill once a month for free with a paid water bill. Call the City of Roswell Solid Waste Department for more information at 575-624-6746. Help keep Roswell clean. After all, do you want your kids to grow up in a dump? Time to double up and save at Roswell Honda.
Double your refund.
That's right. Roswell Honda wants to double up your tax refund up to $4,000 towards your next vehicle. And with clearance prices across the lot, you can walk in, double up, and drive away today in a 2014 Yukon for just $379 a month, a 2014 Civic for just $249 a month, or a 2017 Escape for just $199 a month. Zero down, no payments for 4 months, free AirPods with a test drive, and double your refund.
Time to double up.
On now at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
It's a new year, and the progressives in Santa Fe are trying to get their claws into Roswell. Governor Grinch has her best buddy in Roswell running for mayor. In Roswell, we are proud of our families, our industry, our traditions, and our values. We can't let the Santa Fe gang take over our community. In the Roswell municipal election on March 1st, vote to keep Roswell open, to keep Roswell independent, and to keep Roswell free. Let's keep Kintai as our mayor.
This is Dennis Kintai, and I approve of this ad.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Movie trailers were originally shown after the movie, which is why they're called trailers. Mike thought they named them after the mobile home. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, candidate for our upcoming municipal election here for City Council, running in Ward 1, James Edwards in studio, back with us this morning. Morning, sir. How you doing today?
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome. Well, thanks for doing the show, and thank you. I had Ed on last hour, and I want to say the same thing to you I said to Ed. Thank you very much for stepping up and being a part of this community. Win, lose, or draw. Obviously, you've served and serving on the school board right now, so you know this isn't new for you serving the community. But because of people like you and like your opponent and your candidates and everybody out, we appreciate these folks coming up and stepping up. Run. This This isn't professional politics like you would think of with Congress and state level. These are your neighbors. These are the people you go to church with, the people you go and shop with, and things like that. So thank you, first off, for doing all that. Win, lose, draw, or anything we talk about. I appreciate your commitment to our community.
And thank you for allowing me to come here and speak. And thank Roswell for having some people that are willing to step up. You know, a lot of times people don't want to step up.
Absolutely. So let's talk the why first. Let's get that right out of the room. What, obviously you're right now, for folks that don't know, James, you serve on our school board right now and have for last 1-2 terms now? Is it?
This will be my second term.
Okay.
I have a total of 5 years in, and this will be my second term.
Very good. So what made you say, you know what, I want to get involved on the city council side?
It's pretty much the same reason that I ran for school board. You can sit on the sidelines or sit up in the stand and critique everything that's done.
Sure.
But unless you're willing to step up and get down on that field and be the coach, you don't really have a say. So, and I was seeing a lot of things that I wasn't happy with, and I continue to see those things. And so I said, you know what, I can sit back and talk to different people in the community and do nothing about it. So I said, I'll step up just like I did for the school board.
Sure.
I stepped up for a reason, and it's not my reason. You hear concerns in the community.
Sure.
And I hear them all the time.
Sure. I would also, and maybe this is a fair statement, maybe it's not, I would argue your passion is youth. Obviously, with your day job, with your involvement in youth sports, and then of course the college, all the things you've done with working with youth in our community, that translates over in school board and things like that. Is that kind of a battle cry for you as a city councilor too? Is focusing on our youth, or is that one part or not a part of your city council side?
I can't. I think I focus on people. Youth is my passion.
Sure.
But people are my passion. I see a lot of people that are out there that are homeless, or when you got community organizations or nonprofits that are trying to raise money to help. I have a passion for that.
Gotcha.
I'm the person that when I walk out the door and they're ringing the bell for the Salvation Army, I'll go in and I'll pull my last $2 or my last $3. If not, I'll go get some change and put it in there. I don't walk by without.
I get you later, or I can't do it. I'm going to make a point of giving back.
And I also, I also donate food down here to the community kitchen. Every month I take a load of food to the community kitchen because there's that need. I have a passion for Roswell.
You've made that your routine.
Yes, I'm from Roswell, and I grew up here, and Roswell has helped me a lot. It helped me more than people can only imagine, because I had people that helped me get away from Roswell and go to college.
Okay.
And also assisted with paying for the college.
Gotcha.
So I do have a passion for Roswell. I grew up here, but my passion is kids. The kids are our future, and I think we've forgotten that.
Oh, and absolutely, and I would also argue that, especially at the level of work you're doing here in the community, at this level, at the kind of the grassroots level of it, I think you understand as well as I do, and I think a lot of us do, that you always hear the cliches, the children are our future, and all that, but that really is, if we don't prepare them now, what we do now doesn't matter much, does it? You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. And what we do now can affect our leaders of the future. If they see negative, that's what we're going to get, is negative leaders.
Sure.
I think that's one of the reasons I did run, because I see so much negativity out there.
Gotcha.
And the one thing I won't do is I don't sling mud.
Yeah.
I tell the truth. But the leadership, I have this saying, leadership reflects attitude. And a lot of people don't understand that. But the leadership that you show reflects later on.
Absolutely. Well, and I would imagine with your experience on the school board alone, that probably gives you a unique perspective into that a little bit. Because obviously, being on city council, serving, as mayor, city council, these are lightning rod positions in a community. You get the credit sometimes, but you certainly get all the blame. That's just kind of those. Sitting on the school board is just as much, if not more so, because I would argue when it comes to people's kids, people will get a little mama bear on it. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, is what I'm saying. Is they're going to bow up and act out of character for their kids sometimes. So I got to imagine, as a school board member, you've dealt with that kind of mindset and mentality over the last 5 years.
Yeah,
especially COVID.
Yes. And we have the one group, the concerned citizens. I understood them being disgruntled.
Right.
And after meeting with some of the people here recently, they found out, hey, you know what, James? You're not a bad guy. We didn't get to know each other.
Gotcha.
All I knew is that they were upset about something.
And you were the person they're directing the anger at the moment.
It was the whole group. They were aiming their concerns at. And I wasn't upset at them for doing what they did.
Sure.
I actually applaud them because guess what? Sometimes that's what it takes. When you look at what America was founded on, it was people being disgruntled and rising up against oppression.
Passion's a good thing.
Yes.
But there's a way to handle it, and then there's a way not to handle it, and we need to learn how to handle that a little.
I think adults really do need to learn how to handle it.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to you earlier, we teach our kids about responsibility. We say, hey, you got to go to school. You be respectful at school. Be respectful to your teachers. But if we're not displaying those characteristics out in the public or at home, the kid, no matter what you tell those kids are going to pick up what they're seeing daily.
They pick up by example, their osmosis, whatever you want to call it. They absorb it. Absolutely. I do want to talk some issues, that side of thing. As far as citywide issues right now, what's greatest concerns for you? Is there particular areas of the city that alarm you most, or is there just what like as city council, what's some of the things that are kind of bugging you that's going on in the city right now?
I think one of the main issues that bugs me is we have this policy of cost recovery.
Okay.
And I've been reading the newspapers from the gentleman out at the drag strip that had a meeting at the airport with the airport on the fees. The golfers at the golf course, the museum, the zoo, the aquatic center. It seems like every time somebody meets with the city, they raise everything.
Gotcha.
The fees go up. That's a tax.
Okay.
And I've thought about this. I've heard people say, "Oh, we're not going to raise taxes." There's other ways to get your money. No matter how you look at it, it's a tax.
Gotcha. Okay.
You're hitting people in the pocketbook that contribute to Roswell.
Okay.
And we're expecting them to pay more.
Sure.
I was reading about the drag strip. They were paying $500 and something a month for the drag strip. Then all of a sudden, the city's going to raise their fees, and now the drag strip, like I read in the paper, the gentleman says they're going to be out of business. Okay, so is the city in the business of putting people out of business?
Sure.
That's a quality of life.
Gotcha.
Golfing is a quality of life. Youth sports is a quality of life.
So being a little bit more pro-friendly to some of these businesses,
right?
Instead of you're working with them instead of trying to against them, I guess.
Against them, because those people bring in those folks bring in revenue, and they offer something that we don't have.
Sure.
You keep hearing about that. There's nothing to do in Roswell.
Right.
Eventually, there's not going to be anything to do in Roswell because everybody's going to be out of business.
Sure. I would ask this too because, like you talking about, like fee structure and all that. There's got to be a balance there because obviously we can't just keep. I guess the argument is that these amenities that we have as a community, they're not meant to make money because they're city amenities here, but at the same time they can't break us. So how do we find that balance of making it available to everybody, but at the same time not costing more money than we're willing to put in the budget on it. That I think that's the balance there.
I understand where you're going.
Yeah.
But I think there needs to be, somebody has to be responsible.
Sure.
And it starts with your finances. It starts up at the head shed, as we call it in the military.
Mm-hmm.
We have a city manager. We have a financial person. What is our actual budget?
Gotcha.
We have to look at the budget.
We're just spending too much money.
Are we spending too much money on salaries?
Okay.
Because I've looked at this.
So it's really just to look at where we spend it, how we spend it. Maybe we need to shift dollars to compensate for some of this.
Right, and nothing's free. When they were going to charge a fee over at the zoo. I've been to the Alamogordo Zoo, and I paid the $4 to go in, $5, $4, and it was well worth it. I haven't been to our zoo since they implemented the fees, but I guarantee it's more than $4.
Okay,
$4 is affordable.
You're saying it's not bang. You're not getting the bang for your buck there.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
And we need to look at our finances.
Okay.
We need to open the books.
Let's go the other way. Is there anything positive? Like you're thinking, you know what, city nailed it. This is something we need to embrace and expand on. Is there any things like that on that side that you really want to do more with and promote as a city councilor?
I think if the city was to piggyback and continue to do what we've done in the past, and I hate to reflect on the past, but the things that we did in the past were successful.
Sure.
Main Street Roswell hosting the UFO Festival. Last year I went out to the UFO Festival, and it was quite confusing. But what the city did is we pulled it from Main Street Roswell and hired a private contractor to come in and run Roswell business.
Right.
And from last I heard, they're no longer going to be doing it. The city's going to do it. We need to start doing our homework.
Okay.
Not everything in Roswell is bad.
So get a consistent plan there.
We need to have a plan.
Yeah. And I think as well as I do that's been something since the 90s that they can't, but between Main Street, the city, and the UFO Museum. I mean, there's really three entities involved there, and it seems like since the 90s, a lack of getting those three on the same page for this.
Yeah, and the convention center, the convention center used to be the hub of our community. Gun shows used to go there. Now gun shows go out to the fairground.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think we've lost sight.
Sure. We don't want to price ourselves out of our own thing.
Exactly.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
We're pricing ourselves out of good programs, but the salaries for the top 10% keep going up at the top level. So we need to maybe look at that too.
Gotcha.
Do we have a chief financial officer here in Chaves County?
I don't know. I'd have to ask Joe Nebb, I guess. I don't know. I'm sure there's someone that looks at budget. I don't know what their titles are and everything else. But yeah. How is being, in your opinion, because I got to imagine going to your school board experience here, if anything really trained you as a city councilor, I mean, there's nothing, those two are very similar, as far as the impact on the community and the way people, how does that training, does that experience all add to that being a city councilor? And what I mean by that is because of the lightning rod side, the fact that, you're gonna. Is it the same job or is it a different job in your opinion in many facets?
I believe it's one and the same, but there's differences. One thing that I've learned is looking at the audits, being on the financial committee for the school board. And it all depends on how you handle controversy and the hot topics.
Sure.
My method is not to fight with anybody. I'm not going to argue with you, and we can have a difference of opinion, but
Sure.
at the end of the meeting, we can shake hands.
And then some opinions aren't going to change. I don't care how many people argue about it. We'll just take the mask, for instance. People are pretty much set in their way whether they're going to wear a mask or not wear a mask.
Right.
You can argue till you're blue in the face, but when you two walk away, you're probably not changing your opinion about it. You know what I mean? And so you're kind of saying, well, pick your battle. We'll why beat around go back and forth on this where we can talk something about something else so we can make some headway on here.
Right.
Gotcha. Very good. So let me ask school board, what's the biggest lesson that you've taken from that one? Walking away from, assuming you get elected here, I think you have to step. I don't think you can serve both here, but talk.
Yes, I can serve both.
Can you? Is that allowed?
Yes.
But what's the greatest takeaway from that for you as a city councilor? What do you take away from the school board to say, you know what, this is going to serve me well as a city councilor?
I think the communication.
Okay.
Communication. Not being afraid to answer difficult questions like. We had this issue come up at the last school board about Mesa and Nancy Lopez.
Mm-hmm.
As a school board member, that I take that serious because somebody's going to be affected by it.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of times we have too many city councilors. They get elected and they tend to forget their constituents.
Gotcha.
They get a title. They get the prestige.
Sure.
And they forget who elected them. And that's one of the things that I've learned about being on the school board. The citizens, concerned citizens, got together and they had an election, and we lost 2 school board members.
Mm-hmm.
So when the people do rise up and speak, I think that was a good example. That's one of the things that I've learned is that, hey, as easily as you got voted in, you can get voted out.
Gotcha. Yeah, nothing's given.
Nothing is given.
Nothing's guaranteed. What's your proudest moment or proudest achievement as a school board member? Is there something that if you walk, say tomorrow you don't go to another school board meeting, what's the thing you're most proud of as a school board member?
I would have to say that seeing Mesa being built.
Okay.
Because I went to Mesa.
Gotcha.
And
that was a little near and dear to your heart.
Right, and it's near and dear to a lot of people's heart.
Yeah.
Because when I got elected, some of the doors, I talked to older people that are older than me, and they said, James, those doors have been there 60, 70 years. And I got some of those doors replaced because it bugged me that 60, 70 years you could see under the doors.
Right.
So one of the things I did is I went to visit those.
This is the United States, man. We should be able to have some nice modern stuff for our kids.
Right. And for far too long, it was being neglected. But now we got a new building going up. It should be finished here in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Del Norte was built. I appreciate the voters. And then we got Nancy Lopez, which is due to start building here in about the next 2.5, 3 years.
Yeah.
I think those are proud moments.
Yeah. And long overdue.
Long overdue.
Yeah. And I would just say that was almost just a history thing where, let's face it, Roswell, New Mexico was a retirement community for the longest time, and money was not invested in schools as much back then as it is now. And I think we're now fixing the problems from the past from that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Since you opened up, you talked about the retirement community.
Yeah.
I think our retirees are being left out.
Sure.
Roswell Adult Center.
It's kind of back in the other way now, where for many years there was money invested, and I don't know if there's like a shift in people like, nah, screw this group, we're going to go help this group now. And I'm like, we can do all at the same time. But am I off that? But I think that's kind of where you're going.
Exactly.
There. Yeah.
I think Roswell can be all inclusive. I know.
Yeah.
And it should be all inclusive. Look at the east side of town, the west side of town, the northeast side of town, the southeast side of town, the northwest side of town. There needs to be a balance. And when something good happens in one area, we need to make sure that something good happens in another area so that we're not being left out.
Sure.
And I think that's why you have so many candidates running, because the current council, and I'm not slinging mud.
Sure.
They don't listen to their constituents.
Gotcha.
You can throw up a park and say, oh, look at what I did. But if people aren't going to that park's no good.
Sure. So basically, you kind of look at the volume of candidates, which is a bigger number than most municipal elections in recent years. That speaks volumes there if you just kind of read the writing on the wall a little bit.
Yes.
Gotcha. I do want to turn to Ward 1. I'm sure you've been out visiting and talking to folks around that area. Is there Ward 1 issues unique that you think, obviously, serving as city council, you serve all the city. obviously you kind of with a special representation for Ward 1 here, and so is there certain issues in the ward that maybe you think needs to be brought before the city council, or things you're hearing from people out as you're out talking?
I haven't been out to as much as I would like because I lost my brother recently here in the last 3 weeks.
Sorry to hear that.
But I have talked to quite a few people.
Yeah.
Roads. The other thing that people in Ward 1 feel that they've been neglected is they're not being heard.
Gotcha.
I'm just telling you, they're not being heard.
Okay.
They're not being listened to.
Okay.
And that goes from the historic district to all the way to the Chihuahuita district. They're not being heard, and they feel like they're being neglected. One of the other issues that I keep hearing is the trash. Roswell used to be an all-American city.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time we've had that distinction? Roswell used to be a very clean city, but we got rid of the receptacles that we used to do for
recycling.
Mm-hmm. We got rid of that. I've seen a lot more of those smaller trash cans that are being pushed out to the street. Well, when you push trash cans out to the street, that's what big cities do, and you have more trash blowing everywhere.
Gotcha.
The trash, the roads.
So we broke a system that wasn't broke to begin with. Gotcha.
And then not being heard. No matter whether, like you said, win, lose, or draw.
Sure.
Whoever's elected needs to listen to the people.
Gotcha.
Because there's another election coming up here in 2 years. There's another election coming up in 4 years. And I'll be prepared.
Gotcha. We're about out of time, but I do want to leave you kind of the last word here and give you an opportunity to just say or address anything that we didn't get a chance to talk about, or point things that you want to make sure you get out there to the folks.
One of the things that I like to get out to the folks is, no matter who you vote for, get out to vote. Because if you don't get out to vote, then you have no reason to really complain. And then it's too late. Keep up with what's going on in the news. Don't be so complacent. I think we've become so complacent and accepted the good and the bad and the indifferent.
Sure.
That we don't get we're just complacent. The other thing is, read the newspaper. Go to reliable sources and see what's going on. Financial audits, charging of city people, double charging. It's a tax. Let's learn to get along and be receptive to new ideas.
Sure.
Because, like I told somebody the other day, if I'm the smartest person in the room, there's something wrong. There's 10 or 20 other people that have just as good ideas.
Well, good ideas are good ideas. Doesn't matter where they come from if it's a good idea. You know what I mean? Right. And at the end of the day, the answer is no. I mean, if there's a good idea, let's regardless what side made the idea or who came up with the idea. It's like, well, you know what I mean? Yeah, and we've turned mentally, I think, a little bit, like you're saying, it's a good idea, but that's from the other guy, so we can't take that as an opinion.
But I think what we need also is more people that are from Roswell that understand the needs of Roswell to be allowed to move up in the hierarchy, because right now it's my way or the highway.
Sure. Well, and then this is your statement, but I get what you're saying too about getting involved. You know what I mean? I really think we have a close-knit community, but if you think about it, it's the same 100, 200 people that show up at all the events. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like when there's a community event, whatever it is, whether it's for veterans or for kids or for wherever it is, there's always the same 200 people that are involved in a lot of things that come out, and we need more people to come out and be involved in that. So.
One last note.
Yes.
You mentioned veterans. We need to take care of our veterans. I'm part of one of the veterans group. They've already paid a price. They don't need to be charged. They've served. They've paid a price.
Sure.
Don't forget our veterans, our retirees, and our kids, and the common blue collar worker that has to get out there and bust his back.
Sure.
To to take care of our community.
As we get to a certain stage in life, those people that looked out for us, we need to treat them with that respect and with that privilege. And that's how society really works, isn't it? I mean, because that in turn, the younger generation see that respect, see that okay, these are what good people that do our community. This is what happens to those folks, and so it's almost the seniors that bust our up. We need to let that happen, but at the same time, you know what I mean, because it's so important on creating the next generation of leaders, of people. You almost have to show this is why you do that. And I think, unfortunately, our seniors, our veterans, are people that have chewed some dirt and are now, ready to take a little bit of a break here. What I mean by that is you got to show people this is what happens to people that do great things for us. They live in our community and we treat them well, and they go on to be respected members of our community. And we're missing a little of that in our world right now. I'm not saying there's a hierarchy or pecking order, you do this, this, and this, but at the same time, if you go for goals and you achieve them, you should give rewards for those goals. And
right.
And I think you need to show that side of it a little bit.
And I think everybody just needs to be heard. We have 10 counselors. Nobody should have more power than the other.
Yeah.
And everybody, and like I said, we need to be working together. And right now, I don't think I see Roswell as working together.
Gotcha. So, if anybody wants more information about James Edwards, wants to get involved in the campaign, what's the best way to do that right now?
Hey, you can give me a call.
Okay.
575-420-0559.
Very good. Do you do Facebook or any of that stuff, or not really? Or
I tend to stay away from that because it can get you in trouble.
I understand completely. You notice a thing, we got people that have experience doing stuff. They tend to stay away from Facebook. You notice that? There's a pattern here.
Right.
Very good. Well, thank you, sir. Appreciate the visit. And win, lose, or draw, we'd love to have. We'll see you. We'll talk to you again.
And thank you for allowing me to talk, be here to speak to the people out in Roswell.
Anytime, and anytime too. I know we talk with Superintendent Luck, but anytime any of our school board wants to get in and talk, I'd open invite anytime. So.
I will be here.
All right, thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, 8:51. Let's pause for some news and some more commercials to pay for my lunch. Don't go away. We'll be back.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. We begin with a developing story out of Roswell where a woman has been arrested and charged with voluntary manslaughter after a deadly shooting during an argument and fight. RPD officers arrived to the home in the 900 block of Caminacito and found the shooter, 26-year-old Melissa Kenyon, and her boyfriend Uriah Shields outside the home. They were both ID'd and detained there. Inside the home, police said they found 51-year-old Cassandra Kirkman dead of a gunshot wound in a bedroom. RPD says Kenyon called police to report that she had shot Kirkman. She's now being held for voluntary manslaughter. Shields was also arrested for being a convicted felon in possession of a gun. The Eddy County Sheriff's Office currently hiring both certified and uncertified deputies. If you have any questions about the requirements, benefits, or the hiring process, you can contact recruiter Sergeant Gracie Gonzalez, 575-887-7551. You can apply and find more information online at eddycounty.org. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 95% of people text things they could never say in person. Check your text messages. We just sent you something. Here's Mike Winters.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. The U.S. Embassy announced Friday that Washington is lifting a ban on inspections of Mexican avocados, paving the way for exports to resume. The suspension of inspections had threatened Mexico's $3 billion annual exports and raised the possibility of price increases for U.S. consumers. The inspections were halted last week after one of the U.S. inspectors was threatened. Auto parts retailer and distributor AutoZone will establish a new distribution and import facility in Virginia, creating over 350 new jobs. The company will invest over $185 million to establish the 800,000 square foot facility east of Richmond, Virginia, and will serve as AutoZone's East Coast distribution hub. On Wall Street Friday, the Dow down 232 points, the Nasdaq down 168, and the S&P 500 fell 31. The markets will be closed Monday in observance of President's Day. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Honey, did you see the story in the Roswell paper recently about how Dennis Kintai and the city council want to spend $61 million on new baseball fields?
Yep, talk about out-of-control spending.
Yeah, they say it's a field of dreams, more like field of debt.
Definitely. Kintai and the council don't have their priorities straight. Remember, they wanted to spend $35 million on a new public safety complex. Thank goodness over 80% of voters rejected that boondoggle.
And meanwhile, crime has gone up drastically over Kintai's last 4 years in charge.
Yeah, and Roswell's roads are a mess. Have you seen the sorry state that streets like North Garden are in? Potholes everywhere.
That's why we need Tim Jennings for mayor. Tim will control spending, hire more police officers, and fix our roads.
Let's send a message to City Hall that Roswell can't afford to spend $61 million on building new baseball fields. Vote Tim Jennings for mayor.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
Buying a good, clean, reliable pre-owned vehicle is just about the smartest thing you can do these days. But how do you know it's good, clean, and reliable? Well, just visit your friends at Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have over 100 outstanding pre-owned vehicles ready to serve you and your family for years to come. How do you know? Because we put everyone through a rigorous 139-point inspection, and we give you a 3-day money-back guarantee to be sure it's right. These are vehicles you'll be proud to own and thrilled to drive, like a 2015 Ford Fusion Hybrid for just $11,980, a 2017 Ford Escape for just $15,980, and a 2020 Ford Explorer XLT for just $39,980, plus about 100 more that are just as good. Sure, you can get a used car just about anywhere, but you'll only find a selection like this at Roswell Ford. So don't take chances. Come by and see us at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation at the corner of 9th and Main.
A comedian once said, "No one can tell me anything, not even myself." Hi, this is Pastor Troy and Julie Smotherman for The Joy of Marriage.
You know, most people stop listening and start forming an answer or response when someone's talking to them within 7 seconds, so they miss most of the information.
John 10:27 says, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them, and they follow me."
You know, when Julie and I were preparing for this, she looked right at me after I spoke for a while and said, "What?" I guess we all have work to do in listening. But you know what? Just like learning to know God takes time and focus and to know His voice, it's going to take time and focus to really get to know our spouse and to really start enjoying and loving marriage.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Members of Central Valley Electric Cooperative are invited to attend the 2022 annual meeting to be held Saturday, March 19th at the Estelle Yates High School Auditorium in Artesia, New Mexico. Come meet your fellow co-op members, hear about the status of your electric co-op and what is planned for the future. There will be door prizes and a nice gift. Plus, the first 200 members to register will each receive a $50 gift card. Limit 1 card per membership. Registration begins at 9 a.m. The annual meeting begins at 10 a.m. Mark your calendar and please attend the Central Valley Electric Co-op annual meeting March 19th in Artesia, New Mexico. We look forward to seeing you there.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. You cannot snore and dream at the same time, unless you're dreaming about snoring. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 8:57. Stay tuned. Next hour, about 9:15 or so, we're going to have Amy McVeigh-Tejas join us on the telly, and she will give us an update on what's happening over at Historical Society. We'll talk a little bit with the their event with Donna Blake Burchell here on Saturday, and just talk about various things happening there with the Historical Society. Let's see. Don't forget, now that we've had the Ted Vigil, John Denver show, that was this past weekend at the Roswell Community Little Theater. Now, for the next 2 weekends, come on out for their play called Four Old Broads. It's a comedy. Think of if the Golden Girls story was retold today, it would look a lot like this play, for Old Broads. Tickets are available online at roswelltheater.com. That's Roswell Theater, THEATRE.com. Performances will be this Friday and Saturday, the 25th and 26th at 7:30 p.m., and then a Sunday matinee on Sunday the 27th. Then they'll do it all over again the weekend of March 4th, 5th, and 6th. March 4th and 5th, those are Friday and Saturday evening performances at 7:30, and the 6th will be the final Sunday matinee at 2:30. They're doing another dinner party event where you can come out Thursday night, this Thursday, and have a delightful dinner that will be there up on stage and everything else. And then you get, as part of that, I believe it's $50 for the ticket, and you also get a ticket to one of the shows, too, and a delightful meal. Again, you can go to roswelltheater.com to get tickets for that. Again, Roswell Theater, THEATRE.com. And, of course, the first night, too, they're also doing Elvis lookalike contest. So this Friday, if you come out and dress up like Elvis, you'll get a free ticket to the show. You also could, they'll bring everybody up and do an Elvis off and have winners and all that cool stuff. But for All Broads, roswelltheater.com. Check it out. All right, we'll be back. Don't go away.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov uses a meeting with a senior Mideast official to lash out at the West over Ukraine.
Lavrov, while speaking with his Syrian counterpart, says the West is trying to create an almost insurmountable confrontation with Russia as tensions continue to mount over Ukraine. Syria's foreign minister responded, saying the West encourages Ukraine in committing aggressions against Russia, and the campaign of hypocrisy, lies and misrepresentation is the same they had conducted against the Syrian regime. The meeting took place amid intensified shelling along the line of contact between Ukrainian forces and Russian-backed rebels in the country's east. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
And Senator Ted Cruz blames President Biden for emboldening Putin by waiving Trump-era sanctions on Russia, giving a green light to the Nord Stream 2 pipeline. The Texas Republican tells Fox News Sunday that is why we have over 100,000 troops and Russian tanks on the border of Ukraine preparing to invade. That's why we're on the brink of war in Europe. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau catching flack for his crackdown on the Freedom Convoy truckers. The Heritage Foundation's Laura Rees says it's a blatant power grab.
The pandemic is on the decline, and yet we have tyrannical leaders around the globe grasping, trying to hang on to their last efforts at control using this pandemic.
Reeves talking with the Salem Radio Network. Average daily COVID cases and hospitalizations are falling nationwide. Total confirmed cases reported Saturday barely exceeding 100,000, a sharp downturn from the 800,000 plus 5 weeks ago. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm cute kid number 1. And I'm cute kid number 2. And we have been forced, you mean hired? We have been hired to tell you what direct lender FOMO is. So let's say you buy a new home, and maybe you use one of those big mortgage monsters. Or someone your realtor or friend recommends. And then a few months later, you hear us being forced, hired to tell you about our mortgage team's direct lender advantage. And then you feel like you missed out, because you probably did miss out. And that is direct lender FOMO.
It's Ryan, and our mortgage team is an arm of a bigger company who is a direct lender, which means our company gets to use its own money and make its own decisions within its own walls. There's no middleman. This often allows us to get you a better rate on that new home mortgage, saving you monthly and lifelong money. We are United Faith Mortgage.
United Faith Mortgage is a DBA of United Mortgage Corp. 25 Middle Park Road, Melville, New York. Licensed mortgage maker. For all licensing information, go to NMLSConsumerAccess.org. Corporate NMLS number 1330. Live record NMLS number 65233. Equal housing lender. Licensed in Alaska, Hawaii, Georgia, Massachusetts, North Dakota, South Dakota, or Utah.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson unveiling plans to eliminate all remaining COVID restrictions in England, including a requirement to quarantine.
The legal requirement to isolate after a positive test is expected to be scrapped. There's likely to be a winding down of universal free testing, and the focus will be continuing booster jabs for those at risk. Labour has accused the Prime Minister of working to a political timetable, but the Business Minister, Paul Scully, signalled a new era in the battle with the virus. The government's scientific advisers say the current measures and the public's own choices could be reducing the transmission of the virus by up to 45%, and so cases are likely to increase as a result of today's plan.
The BBC's Paul Fleming. Queen Elizabeth, who is 95, is tested positive for COVID-19, but she continues to suffer only minor cold-like symptoms, according to Buckingham Palace. News and analysis at townhall.com. Like everything else, cost of keeping a roof over your head is going up.
Rents continue to explode across the country, causing many to fall behind on payments or forced to dig deep into their savings. Experts say from December 2020 until December 2021, median rent climbed a mind-boggling 19.3% in the 50 largest metro areas of the country. Realtor.com says there are many factors, including a nationwide shortage of housing, extremely low rental vacancies, and unrelenting demand as young adults continue to enter the crowded market. Jason Walker reporting.
Tennis great Novak Djokovic says despite weeks away from competition and emotional distress over his recent detention and deportation from Australia, he feels he's at his peak as he now returns to touring. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Tres Inviernos.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Monday, President's Day, everybody.
Yes.
Hope you're having a great day so far.
Celebrate Dia de los Presidentes.
See.
Yes.
Hey. Yeah. I think technically today's Washington's birthday.
I think,
right?
it's George Washington's birthday,
Yeah. And then Lincoln's is right around the corner, I think.
I know, because it's always the certain Monday, right?
Birthday?
So I think it's the closest to George Washington's birthday.
Yeah.
But not his exact birthday. I think Lincoln's is, I want to say back in January, or maybe those are reversed.
I thought they're both in February, but
They might be.
yeah.
But
don't quote me.
It's a celebration of all presidents.
Well, I think it was between those two. Their birthdays were close, so they just made it President's Day. I think that's the gist.
We'll meet in the middle.
See? Yeah. So, happy President's Day. A day off for some.
Indeed.
Some of us not so much.
Just remember the great things that some of the the great leaders of our country have said, like, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. And I did not have sexual relations with that woman. Just the great, amazing words from former leaders of the free world.
Just hit them all.
Yeah. I am not a crook. Whatever,
Any of these.
Yeah, build the wall. All the hits.
Well, happy President's Day. Enjoy your day off.
And then, of course, there's the great words. I remember the time there was that time when I was younger. I was just great words from great leaders all the way around. I saw somebody put up it was a TikTok, and it was basically it was how every Biden speech goes.
Okay.
And it was basically they just they chopped and screwed the song "Crazy" by Gnarls Barkley.
Okay.
So it's just I remember when I remember when I remember when I remember
So they
when
auto-tuned him into it? That's
it's
pretty.
basically every Biden speech.
That's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that takes a lot of work to do. I feel like it does.
Well, if you're doing that to certain songs, I mean, mashup it's a real art form.
Yeah.
It's always fun to find ones that just have no business being together whatsoever.
Yeah.
And yet they somehow weirdly work.
I appreciate the work and the effort of people that make these funny things. I get them. But I'm curious, like, how much time do you devote to these? And do they get any kind of monetary? Well, I'm sure there's a couple that, they got their YouTube pages and everything they do turns to cash cow. But I got to imagine there's just people that are, like, at the office on their lunch hour working on these memes and stuff instead of doing their job. And then spent 100 hours on a meme making a song that, at the end of the day, doesn't get them anywhere. You know what I mean?
The mindset is you're increasing your footprint. If you make a video, if you make a video that goes viral and that becomes like your thing, more people will subscribe to you. You have that influence. Advertisers start noticing when your numbers are up, when your impressions are up. That's when you start getting brand deals. Companies will send you free stuff. I mean, there's perks and benefits to it. Oh, trust me, I've been digging into it.
Yeah.
If you spend any time at all just on TikTok, part of you will be entertained, but there's a big portion of you that's just like, why am I not doing any of this? Why am I not making money just doing this? Like,
how many productive hours of things are we losing?
Oh, so many.
Because someone spent 10 hours making a Joe Biden song parody.
Right.
I mean, I get it. It's funny. I mean, I appreciate the art. I appreciate all of it. But are people, like, not doing what they're supposed to be doing? And then complaining how, that's well, they don't pay me. I was like, well, you just spent all day making a TikTok video.
Right.
What did you do? What did you expect? So how much of that's going on? That's what I mean.
Right. And it's funny, too, because I've seen an influx of people who are like, well, I decided to quit my job today and I become an influencer full time. It's like, are you sure about that?
I just have a hard time.
You're a fart in the wind.
I have a hard time people saying that's my job now. I'm an influencer.
I'm an influencer.
It's like you got to have influence to be an influencer.
Right.
You just can't get that.
We're old school influencers, sort of. We influence different demos.
For sure. I mean, I host a radio show. Of course, I would fall into that.
So you're an
category.
Influencer. There you go.
But I don't call that my job title.
Sure.
I don't call that is what I do. I'm a talk show host.
Right.
That's what I do.
But it's that mindset of kind of like what we were talking about earlier.
It's getting back to being a brand again.
Exactly. That's
and
what I was just going to say. It's building your brand.
Yeah, and I have trouble doing that from a me perspective. I'm not a brand.
Example.
I'm a human being.
I'll give you an example of somebody who took something and made something out of it and just ran with it, and that's the dude Damn Drops.
Yeah,
he's on YouTube. You've probably heard a bunch of his videos. Basically, his whole thing, he just goes to different fast food places, orders the new thing on the menu, sits in his car, tries it, and reviews it.
Yeah,
he has tens of millions of followers. He's got his YouTube channel is doing massive success. He's got tons of ad revenue that comes in. This dude built an entire industry off of, I'm just a dude who likes to eat sandwiches in my car.
And I respect that. I get that.
Envy that.
I don't understand how that happens.
Dude, well,
that's maybe, I don't know,
Can I clarify?
Yeah.
We are bored. We're all bored. We just want to see someone do something else for a few minutes to pass time, and that's.
I just wonder who's paying all these money to these folks. Like who? I don't understand how they make so much money. When you
get a certain number of views, that's when YouTube AdSense comes into play. You get CPMs, which is clicks per minute.
Yeah.
And that you get a certain amount of money based on that. Your ad revenue. If your video is doing big numbers, YouTube notices that, they put ads on your videos, you get a portion of the ad revenue from those videos.
Okay.
So it is a system that is in place.
Sure.
As far as TikTok goes, I mean, besides brand sponsorship deals, there's not a lot of you don't see ads necessarily. I mean, you see sponsored content, but it's not necessarily quite the same mindset as a YouTube.
Yeah.
It just works on a smaller scale, but there's monetization situations in place.
My 48-year-old brain just going, Why do you waste your money on this dumb stuff? Go do real things. That's what I feel like it is.
It's the
and
same
I know
thing
it's an
I feel.
old person mentality.
It is, but it's also the same thing I feel about NFTs.
Yeah.
Like I get what they are, but to even try to wrap my head around understanding how they could be like viable as a form of currency or something that's traded, it doesn't make any sense to me at all. Because it's just pictures that you can literally right click and save, and then you have the same thing they just paid $10,000 for. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But everybody's saying it's the way everything's going to be done in Web 3.0.
Well, this is what I think. Some of this will catch on and stay. Mm-hmm. Some of it will.
Sure.
But I think you're going to see kind of the .com bubble burst like you saw.
Especially with crypto.
In the 90s and all that. At some point, people are going to be like, this is ridiculous. I'm not doing this anymore. And the bottom's going to fall.
Right. It's basically like, well, everybody, this is the hot new thing, and everybody's trying to get on the ground floor. And even to the point of the Super Bowl commercials. Because if you remember the year 2000 Super Bowl, the commercials were loaded with such and such .com commercials. Pets.com was the one that stands out in my mind.
Yeah.
But all those companies failed. And in this last year's Super Bowl, Larry David did a commercial for a cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Yeah, and the whole thing was like, you get it on the ground floor.
Yeah, and he was like, that's not going to work. That's not going to work.
Be part of the next new thing. But it's like, you were really hitching our wagons to a, possibly dying star here.
I mean, there was some businesses that are, look at Amazon. Look at, there's some that came out of the .com world and now own the world.
Sure.
And I think in some respects, we'll see some of that with some of this.
Right.
But most of it's going to go the way of the dodo. I think as far as people paying people to say they like hamburgers, that's going to go away at some point.
I would think.
At some point, people are going to be, because unfortunately what happens is now as you're getting people think like, oh, I'm going to start, and that's what you're seeing, is you're getting younger people that are just rolling into Burger King or McDonald's and be like, I got 1,000 followers, man. Give me a free burger. Or I'm going to tell everybody that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you got that going on now.
Right.
And at some point, that's going to hurt the industry. People are like, oh, yeah, well, go tell them.
It's funny. There's an influx of people who are aware of when anybody walks into a place with a phone out.
Yeah.
Like the management will make every effort possible to get them out of the restaurant.
Yeah.
So that's.
So, I mean, I think that's going to ruin it. And anyway.
With great influence comes great responsibility. You need to understand that.
Well, people that are true influences have earned it because of other things they've done. Like, I think that's the problem I have with it. I don't mind people being an influencer, but earn your chops.
Right.
Do things that earn my respect of your influence.
Why should I trust your influence?
Yeah, that's the part I have. Just because you know how to work a phone doesn't mean you know what a good burger is or what good... And that's just it. These are people that are just shooting out their uneducated opinions.
Right.
And I'm like, well, no. I want educated opinions. I want people that actually, you know what? Someone that's been cooking their whole life, I'm going to be very much more taking much more weight in their opinion but than some clown shoe that just conned a dude and give him a free burger. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And now by default, is this person obligated to say that burger's great because I just talked him into giving me a free burger?
But see, that in and of itself is also how the system regulates itself. Because if you're too much of that kind of guy, people are going to tune away.
Yeah, but how much damage do those people do before it discredits the industry?
It's arguable. I mean, it could do a lot. It just depends on that person's specific, like if that person's influence is, well, I watch this person to hate watch, or I actually genuinely value this person's opinions.
Like if Gordon Ramsay rolls up and starts talking about how good my burger is versus some clown shoe that just said, come on, dude, I got 12 influencers. Whose opinion do I, if Gordon Ramsay says a good burger and this clown shoe says it isn't, that clown shoe's out the door.
In fairness, if Gordon Ramsay says it, you better get it on camera to bump up your TikTok numbers.
I'm just saying, I mean, you got to earn, you want to be an influencer, great, but you better come correct.
Now, let's take your scenario. Gordon Ramsay comes into your restaurant and says you have a great burger.
Yeah.
You're an influencer. Boom. Because Gordon Ramsay said it, he passed the mantle on to you, and now you can take that onto TikTok and be like, well,
you can say I have a good burger.
I'm certified.
But that doesn't give me the right to tell other burgers are good.
Sure, it does. Because Gordon Ramsay one time told you had a good sandwich. That's all it takes, is one time.
Well, all that means is I got a good sandwich, and then he's going to generate dollars to that. But if I guess that's my thing is I don't mind influencers, but just to roll up to say I'm an influencer,
right. Earn your keep.
Yeah, it's like somebody coming in and telling me how to do radio. It's like, yeah, you listen to radio once, you have no idea what radio is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We have one of those jobs where people there's always 20 people that say we can do our job better.
Sure.
And some of them may be right. They probably could. But don't roll up on me and what I've put my, the education, the experience and everything I've got, for you to just come up here because you saw a video once or you listened to a radio once to tell me I don't know what I'm doing when you don't have any background. Go pound sand, person. I don't go roll up to your office and say, man, you file those papers funny. You know what I mean? You have no experience
What's
with
funny
what
is
I'm doing.
this whole time all I'm thinking is, man, I wish I was an influencer. God, they make a killing, man.
All right. Very cool. Thank you for that. Let's do this. We're gonna get Amy McVeigh-Tejas join us on the phone here, and we're gonna talk a little historical society in just a few minutes. Before we do any of that, though, she's here. I thought we were doing it on the phone. I guess we're not calling her. She's here. I just saw her standing there. I'm gonna call her anyway, but she's sitting in the other room. All right, it is 19 minutes after 9. I'm going to put away my phone, and we're going to get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cold front and low pressure will be affecting our weather over the next few days. It'll be sunny today, but the wind will be gusting to 45 miles per hour. Afternoon high in the mid-70s. Overnight looks partly cloudy, down to the mid-30s and breezy. Then another breezy day coming up on Tuesday. We'll hit about 70 for the afternoon high and sunny. A lot cooler on Wednesday, upper 40s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Sorry, I'm still on a soapbox. Let me get to my weather here. Currently, 47 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 16%. Hence the reason for these red flag warnings and all that. It's going to be windy, but that 16% humidity doesn't help that cause. Winds currently out of the southeast at 9. That will change. We do have a wind advisory that'll kick in at 11 today, and that will remain in effect through 6 p.m. this evening. Red flag warning will kick in at 10 a.m. this morning and remain in effect through 6 p.m. this evening. For today, the good news is it's going to be warm and sunny. Sunny, mostly sunny, high of 74. That's the good news. But the winds are going to make it not so fun. Windy, southwest winds 10 to 20 this morning, increase in 20 to 30, gusting as high as 45 miles per hour later today. Tonight, mostly clear with an overnight low of 34 degrees. Winds will remain breezy out of the southwest, 20 to 25, gusting as high as 35 miles per hour. After midnight, those winds will drop down 10 to 15 miles per hour. For you Tuesday, probably, I would argue tomorrow might be our best weather-wise day. Maybe. Sunny, highs near 70, so it's still relatively warm, and the winds will be less. South winds 10 to 20 miles per hour for the afternoon. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 28. Southwest winds 15 to 20, decrease in 10 to 15 for overnight after midnight. And then looking at the rest of the week, cooler temperatures. Wednesday, sunny skies, highs near 50 with northeast winds 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny skies, high of 57. Friday, we may get to 50, 49 officially under sunny skies. And then for the weekend, sunny and 54 Saturday, sunny and 61 on Sunday. All right, it is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a 4-minute break, and then Amy McVeigh-Tejas will join us in studio, not on the phone. Maybe I'll put her on the phone, but she's here, so might as well go ahead and put her on the microphone. So we'll take a break, and we'll be back. Talk Historical Society on the other side. Don't go away.
Juliana Halverson is committed to Roswell. She wants to improve our public facilities while keeping our taxes down, attract more business to Roswell, and she wants our city to be safe. People say a lot of things to get elected. With over 35 years of community service, Juliana Halverson has the experience to get it done. Let's elect someone that has a proven commitment to our community. On March 1st, vote Juliana Halverson, City Council, Ward 2.
I'm Juliana Halverson, and I approve this message.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Hey, this is Dr. Keon Agger at Carabelli Dental in Roswell. Our office is passionate about creating beautiful, long-lasting smiles. But here's the thing. Sometimes that means dentures, and that's not a bad thing. These aren't your grandma's dentures. We combine artistry and the latest technology to create beautiful, natural-looking teeth. If you are in southeastern New Mexico and you have dentures or are considering dentures, you need to come visit us at Carabelli Dental.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental or call 622-4455.
Sure, you can inspect your own roof, get out that rickety ladder, crawl around up there and try to spot the problem until... Or you can call the experts at Do Right Roofing. Do Right Roofing has quality products for any type of roof. They can even install seamless gutters. Do Right Roofing will inspect your roof and give you a free estimate fast. Keep your feet on the ground. Call Do Right Roofing today.
575-623-2273. Let Do Right do your roof right.
Find them fast in names and numbers.
This is John.
Hey, my name is John Jackson.
He's not some actor. He's a steward of the land with a John Deere 3 Series tractor and a PTO Quick Connect that hooks up rear implements with a single click. John runs with us because to him, there's nothing more important than connecting with the land. Nothing runs like a Deere. Hear John's story at Deere.com.
Stop by Pecos Valley Equipment in Artesia and Roswell or visit us online at pecosvalleyequipment.com.
The Fergalicious boys can keep you hot this winter.
Fergalicious.
Oh yeah, it's getting cold out there, and Fergus Plumbing and Heating has what you need to keep things hot in your home. They can come by and winterize your pipes and check your insulation, and you know they'll do it with nothing but love. Oh yeah, baby. Call the Fergalicious boys at Fergus Plumbing and Heating at 622-2660. When you need it hot, Fergus is on the job.
Fergalicious.
Buying a good, clean, reliable pre-owned vehicle is just about the smartest thing you can do these days. But how do you know it's good, clean, and reliable? Well, just visit your friends at Roswell Ford. Here at the Tailgate Nation, we have over 100 outstanding pre-owned vehicles ready to serve you and your family for years to come. How do you know? Because we put everyone through a rigorous 139-point inspection, and we give you a 3-day money-back guarantee to be sure it's right. These are vehicles you'll be proud to own and thrilled to drive, like a 2015 Ford Fusion Hybrid for just $11,980, a 2017 Ford Escape for just $15,980, and a 2020 Ford Explorer XLT for just $39,980, plus about 100 more that are just as good. Sure, you can get a used car just about anywhere, but you'll only find a selection like this at Roswell Ford. So don't take chances. Come by and see us at Roswell Ford, the Tailgate Nation at the corner of 9th and Main.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Ketchup was used as a medicine back in the 1930s. Mike uses ketchup to make friends. He doesn't have a lot of friends. Here's Mike Winters.
But I got a lot of ketchup. Good morning. It is 26 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in studio this morning from the Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico, Executive Director back with us, Amy McVeigh-Tejas. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Good. Well, I know Historical Society. We got it's been busy. We got a fun weekend, a fun event coming up this weekend. We'll talk a little bit more about, but really things are just going and blowing at the Historical
Society. We're going and blowing.
Yeah.
Literally, I blew in. Want to wish everybody a happy President's Day. What does that mean? You know, I was looking. I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
It means many get a day off. You and I are here, so that doesn't.
It doesn't work for us so much, but if you work at a bank or a government
you know what
entity.
I encourage people to do is inform yourself on what President's Day is. What does it mean to you? People are off. It must mean something.
Absolutely.
Right? So I want to challenge everybody. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook. Share with us your favorite presidential quote.
Okay.
I think it's really interesting. There's some good ones.
Absolutely.
There's some good ones. I'm not
And
even
some not so
gonna.
good ones.
Then some hits, some misses. Share with us. I think it's important. I was driving over here thinking, where is everybody? Oh, everybody's off. They're sleeping in. Well, you and I are here working, and we're going to celebrate history. But part of us, Mike, is this. We've got elections and everything else going on. But then sometimes I think, I'm old school, I think we lose sight of how it all started.
Sure.
Sometimes maybe we're out in left field. I don't know. Maybe we're way off the field. But then sometimes we just have to get old school. So on the behalf of the Historical Society, go old school. Look back, dig in deep on what some presidents have said.
Absolutely.
And let's today, here I am, Miss Sunshine. Lori, if you're listening, we're going to share some sunshine. Let's see sunny side up. I challenge everybody. Let's get fired up about some good stuff. I'm so sick and tired.
Yeah.
I'm tired. We're just starting. We're going to see sunny side up. Let's share and celebrate some of our forefathers and how they started all this.
Sure.
And I still believe it. I watch the Olympics, love the Olympics. I'm not
they
getting
wrapped up last
political.
night. It's over.
If I could walk in with my American flag, I would. What does that mean to me? It means that some people dug deep to achieve their life goals, celebrating the red, white, and blue, or good grief, celebrating a lot of different flags.
Yeah.
I'm one to believe we can mix those flags together, pull it all together, and let's try to make the best out of every situation.
Sure.
That's something important to us at the Historical Society.
Absolutely. And I know now we're getting Olympics here, but what the thing that always fascinates me about Olympians most is, let's face it, these are young men and women, and teens, 20s, and some go into 30s, but that's not always the case with Olympians. But the part that their window is so narrow,
right?
Where, and this is true in any professional sport, but as an Olympian, even more so, because the biggest event, the biggest stage that you will ever be able to do your thing on, is at the very most every 2 years.
Right.
And then it's always in constant flux with the political world.
Yeah.
How many times have you seen countries back out and things? And so you get athletes that have trained 15, 20 their whole life to go be in the Olympics, only to turn out because of political content. They don't get to go.
Right.
Or they get to go in a very limited capacity or something like that. So to me, that's always been the weird exception there, more so than professional athletes.
It is.
Where, you go to be in it, you make the NFL, at least, you got 16 games. Your window's very...
It is. And I'm one to believe, unfortunately, there's a lot of sports that don't have that potential revenue, if you will.
Yeah.
So they've given their whole life for what?
And you're unknown. I mean, how many... We have so many gold medalists you probably never heard of.
Well, and we have winners that didn't get the medal.
Sure.
It was about the experience and just wanting to go. So God bless America. Celebrate President's Day and take a moment to see what that in the world that means. Yeah. It's not just a day to be off and do whatever you want. We're here. We're still talking about history.
I always like it to go use this to go find weird factoids about presidents and things,
and share it with us on Instagram. Yeah. I find that so fun. Because let's face it, a lot of people are off.
Yeah.
And something tells me you're going to be laying around doing some things. Let's celebrate some good quotes, some fun factoids. Yeah, that's right. Share it on Facebook, Instagram, and we'll have some fun with it. Happy President's Day.
Yeah.
But
you can't early vote today, by the way, because the governments are city or so. So you can't go do that today.
And we're limited on how many days. I voted.
Yeah.
Husband voted, but make sure you get that in.
That's something you can't do today. So use the time off to maybe do some of this.
That's right. But I am excited to be here. I know somebody was just walking up, seeing somebody, and they said, "You're going to be on the radio again."
Is that what they said?
Yeah, that's so funny. And
they say that to me too, and I'm just kidding. You're on the radio.
I'm happy to be on the radio to talk about scholarships. Mike, it's that time again, and I'm so excited.
And I'm
so excited.
I mean, we do a lot of cool things at the Historical Society. Yes. We do.
We do.
But I think, I got to be honest, I think our biggest impact is through these, and it's not even us. We're just the straw. We're the conduit that sends it through. We have some great donors and benefactors that have allowed us to be kind of the one passing out the goodies.
We're just connecting the dots.
But I to me, this almost, as far as what we do, has the biggest impact for the work to benefit ratio I feel like the scholarships is our biggest impact.
It's a goosebumpy moment for me. You said that, Mike, and I swear to you, if you would, I have goosebumps thinking about our first scholarships, thinking about so many kids that consider us family, that are giving us updates, traveling abroad, researching in other countries, living the experience, whether it's Notre Dame, whether it's NMUR. It's not about any of that to us. It is about that we can have this small impact on 1 student, 10 students, 15 students. And by the way, people that are listening could give more now to allow us another scholarship. Because I'm going to tell you, we have lost people on this committee. Why? Because it is, I've heard many people say, the hardest thing will do. And it's so funny.
It's kind of bringing them through the emotional roller coaster
and we
a little
are
bit.
A well-balanced group of 8 to 10 committee. Retired educators to background, a lot of different backgrounds. Some of us will take a page to 5 pages notes on every applicant. Yes, that's me. I'm not going to read through. I'm going to take notes, pray about it, and go back.
You're thorough.
No, I am thorough. Why? I take it very, very seriously. And it's like an investment. We have investments.
Sure.
We take that very seriously. Thank you, Steve Harris. He helps us with our investments. But this is our investment, and we take it very seriously. And if we could give a scholarship to every, some other school districts are very fortunate to, if they comply with a lot of requirements.
Sure.
They all get scholarships.
Sure.
Man, Mike, if we could do something like that one day,
absolutely.
That's the good stuff. It can never be enough. So I live a simple life. But if there's one thing you say, Amy, it's never enough. No, you're darn right. It is never enough scholarships.
Absolutely.
So it is time. Historical Society scholarship time. Applications are on the website right now, roswellnmhistory.org. Deadline is April the 1st. Where in the world did these scholarships come from? They're funded by the Linda Hayes Trust. She was born on March 13th of 1947. Mr. Hayes lost her November 15th of 2016. Mike, that was only 6 years ago that she passed. And you know what I think of her legacy? Mike, it's multiplied. It started with 1, and now every year we're giving 5 or more.
I know, yeah.
And our family branches are already, we've got some, Mike, that are graduating now. Some maybe want to come back.
You know what? That's how you think about that. Some of our first
my goodness.
graduates are now like the first, second, third year, those first and second year students.
We have graduates.
Yeah, that's great.
Raquel Treviso is one. She is graduating, and she's one of our first, came from Dexter, New Mexico. So if people are listening, it is our scholarships. The Historical Society for Southeast New Mexico scholarships are for only seniors. All seniors, whether that is homeschool seniors, private school seniors, Dexter, Hegerman, Artesia. We've had applicants from all over the state.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
open. It's open. Troy, and he loves, Troy, Fort Sumner, those little bitty, whether it's Elida. I would love to see scholarships from Tatum and Elida and
absolutely
Capitan and
all the Southeast New Mexico.
But how we it's the committee that we took things very, very seriously. We thought through how and what is best for us and the opportunities. So this is how they're working this year, Mike. We will have in humanities and arts. So that is one division.
Okay.
So humanity and arts, 2 students will get $1,250.
Nice.
That's $1,250 each. So you have to have that major in the realms of humanities or arts. We're giving 2 students $1,250. STEM scholarships, 2 students, $1,250. And character scholarship, 2 students, $1,250. So if you have a student maybe that wants to major and wants to be a nurse, every senior can apply for the character, but they can actually apply for more than one if it pertains to them. And we've had instances that it can pertain to them. Some have a double major type of scenario. They may That's
go into a STEM side.
Exactly. So again, we want to encourage individuals. There are Google documents. They can go online and apply today. If you have any questions or concerns, call the museum. That these, the way our committee is operating, and we've got so many individuals that are taking this very seriously. There's no paper applications.
Okay.
If you're in any type of education and want these educational flyers, call us at 622-8333. We can email them to you. We can forward that. It's on our website. And we're just so thankful to have these opportunities. Email me at historydirector@outlook.com. Call the museum 622-8333. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or go directly to our website at roswellmhistory.org and get those applications.
Yeah.
And I love to celebrate the first application. I looked over the weekend, and I don't believe we've had our first application yet. But now I didn't check today.
Okay.
So, and if you're at home and you have a child as a senior listening, what better way to utilize your time on President's Day is apply for scholarships?
Start getting
you're out of school.
Start getting your agenda put together,
Yes.
working on your paper, your essay, everything else.
And I think we made an intentional effort to adjust things a little bit. They're a little bit differently. We are our requirements are a little bit different. What you're going to write about is a little bit different.
Okay.
And one thing we've added is character. We 100% believe these graduating seniors have had to survive unique circumstances and have a lot of character. Well, what does that mean? You better figure it out and tell us why. And don't just give us a one. Let me just put it to you this way. If you're listening and your child's going to give us the respect and say, well, I have character and I have some respect. No, you're going to have to give it a little bit more.
Sure.
And I will say, these are highly sought after scholarships. I know a lot of kids, $1,250 is a lot of money.
It is.
So you better give us your best.
And we get quite a great
a lot of applicants are going to come through.
And a lot of great qualified applicants.
Those STEM, they're going to fight over them.
The reason why some people couldn't do this anymore, because they're having trouble delineating who's more deserving, because there's so many great applicants there. And so, yes, the competition is stringent.
It is.
The quality of the applicants are strong. And the people that are involved in this, like you said, take it very seriously and put every ounce of heart and energy into it. And with that comes emotion. And I'm sure afterwards, some of these people feel bad because they hear these stories, and they're amazing stories.
They are.
And you want to give money to everybody because they all deserve it. But you can't. And you got to make that decision.
That's for sure.
So, and the only way at the end of the day is the content you put in that essay is the difference sometimes between someone getting that scholarship. I mean, it is. That absolutely is. But I'm just telling you, no matter what your story is, there's someone that's got one just as good.
Well,
you know what I mean? You're getting quality people that you're doing.
If you have any questions, there are spreadsheets with names not on the top, and these are ranking scenarios. So those equations are going to be put in, and we could have tie situations that are going to come through that are going to be justified by applicants and what they've done in the community.
Yeah.
What they think character means. And character doesn't mean, sitting on the bench one day and not being able to play football.
Character's easy and time's
means
good.
You're darn right.
Yeah.
So
it's easy to be a good character when everything's great. Character shows up when adversity shows up.
You're darn right.
That's when you really learn character.
When you're digging deep in the time, and you've got everything against you, and you rise above all circumstances.
Yeah.
So if there's a person listening that is just listening and they say, man, I don't have a high school senior, but they could make a donation of $500, $1,000, and we could open this up. I could come back on the radio, or we as a society could come back on the radio and say, guess what? Because of a generous giver, we have another $1,000.
We can add some more.
We're all in.
Yeah.
But I will say one thing that we agreed on. When we opened new scholarships up to the New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy, shout out to them. They stepped the game up. Our committee reevaluated everything, and this is why. Those testaments out there of those kids and what they've gone through to rise above and show up out there, I think is a true testament. Is a true testament of resilience. And our high school seniors need to up the game because New Mexico Youth Challenge Academy did. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Great.
That's what it's all about.
Sure.
And life isn't easy. You and I both know it. But if you show up and you've got character, and you're working and pressing through, we want to welcome you. So unique thing about our scholarships too, we partner with the Linda Hayes Trust. We partner with Troy Hayes. Our applicants receive a check. That check's got their name on it on the top. Why do we do that way? This trust takes this very seriously, that maybe we've got kids that have received some scholarship, but they can't afford their books, or we've had kids that can't afford to get where they need to go to school.
They can't have the bus ticket or whatever to get there, yeah.
You know, even Troy was giving me those testament situations. Sure, they may have a scholarship and they can't afford to do what they need to do to get there. That's very intentional of how we do things and why we do that. And there is a great expectation also. They're our family.
Yeah.
So we're not going to give you this and say so long, farewell. These kids are expected to stay in touch with us, and they are part of the family. And this is what the Historical Society is all about.
Absolutely.
It is, my goodness.
So you're kind of getting the first warning here. Now's the time to start getting these applications put together. You got just a hair over a month to get it done here. April 1 is when
can't believe it.
Is when the committee starts making their decisions and everything else. So you got the month of March to put this together. So if you want to percolate on what you want to say in that essay and things, get that done. Like you said, there's different. So like I said, we're talking character. We're talking STEM. We're talking history. Any of these different categories that you fall under, or multiple.
Yep. For sure.
Please apply. And
yes, you can apply for more than one scholarship. Yes. And yes, there are different requirements. So you need to be
adjust accordingly.
That's right.
You can't submit the same application for two.
Right,
I know that's handy and convenient and sure would be nice.
Things are going to change.
But
that's right.
You do have to work. We're giving you money, and we want to make sure we're just not giving it to someone who's going to abuse it.
Right.
That's the other thing, too, is you have to put in an effort. We're going to give you money and things, but we want to know that this is going to something that will benefit the future of us.
And we care about these kids. And as a reminder, we're talking about scholarships. So if kids are listening and they're off today, they could apply for Teen Leadership Institute that's coming up in March.
That's in March, too, yeah.
A lot of scholarship availability. So log on.
And you can be a junior and do that one, too.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
We've got information on that. If you say, what is Teen Leadership Institute? Somebody asked me that the other day. I don't have all the information sitting in front of me. You can call the museum at 622-8333. We will be happy to forward you information on the Teen Leadership Institute. That is for juniors and seniors.
Yeah, that's through
It's a
Leadership
2-day
Roswell
event. That's through
Alumni
Leadership
Association.
Roswell Alumni Association. We're partnering with New Mexico Military Institute. And shout out to Desi and so many individuals, Eric, that are helping make that possible. The Teen Leadership Institute is through the Alumni Association, but great scholarships there. So you could literally apply today. There's only 30 open seats available, maybe even less. Do that, and then while you're doing that, go to roswellnmhistory.org and apply for scholarships.
That deadline's coming up quick.
It
here
is,
on the,
very quick.
On the application.
It's right around. So apply for Teen Leadership Institute, apply for these scholarships. We're just all in. We want to support our youth and wherever they're going. So that's so important.
Yeah. And then, of course, real quick, I do want to remind folks, this upcoming Sunday, Donna Blake Bircher, we had on was a week ago, joined us on the phone for a little bit, author and historian.
For sure.
We always joke she's the John LeMay of the South of Eddy County there.
As a matter of fact, her and John were, I think, celebrating history over the weekend.
Yeah. And so she has a new book out, and this one's dealing with ghost towns, New Mexico ghost towns. Of course, she's got some, she has a little bit of paranormal experience in some of her books from the past of haunted history and those types of things, wicked women and things like that. But her latest book's dealing on ghost towns of New Mexico and learn about some of these long lost, forgotten towns that cover really the whole state. It's not just southeast New Mexico.
That's right.
But anyway, she's going to be doing a book signing this Sunday. From 2 to 3:30. She'll do a presentation and book signing. It's not just her signing books.
That's right.
She'll do a presentation a little bit about the ghosts. So if you want to hear that and learn a little bit about some ghost
those
towns.
books in stock now. If you want to call and reserve one, call 622-8333. We probably will sell out. I feel confident we always do with her books.
So get
call
one early,
today.
that way you're covered.
Call me 622-8333. We can serve your name on it.
And if we do sell it, we'll get more. Don't worry.
Oh, you for sure. No, for sure.
And then I believe John LeMay will also be there. And so he'll be signing his own books, and you can get copies of those
do some shopping.
In advance or there at the event too as well. And
that will be at the archive facility, 208 North Lee. It's a great event. Come and go. If you say, I can't be there right at 2, that's okay. We'll be there to 3:30.
Yeah.
Pick up a couple of copies. Give it as a gift. That's a great gift. We've got a lot of other books.
And they both love to tell stories and talk. So if you want to if you've already read some of the book and you want to kind of ask questions or whatever, they love that. Come down and talk with them.
Donna's got a plethora of books, and she loves to speak and celebrate history. If you're needing a guest speaker and those kind of things, she would love to do that.
She'd be great. Like if you got a youth or adult group or something,
and
you
we've
want to talk
done
a little
that.
history.
She's presented at middle schools, even elementary schools. Getting excited about history. Bring you loose change. Every penny counts. Let's say that again. Every penny counts. We need your memberships. We need your donations. Bring you loose change to this event on Sunday. John and Jason will be on the radio on Friday with you to talk more about this. But help support the Historical Society. It will be in the archive facility. Archive facility is available for rental. As a matter of fact, we've been renting it. It's staying busy. People need facilities. We're doing a lot of things.
Good. RoswellNMHistory.org is the website for the scholarship information. For getting any of these books.
I'm going to get that book
and of course, if you want to be a member of the Historical Society or perhaps you're looking for some artwork like Peter or Herd family stuff. The
Memorial donations. We've lost a lot of great individuals that have impacted this community so much. Make that memorial donation and honor those people that we've lost, the legacies.
And of course, if you'd love to set up a private tour.
Please do.
All you gotta do is call, and we'll get a time, put it together.
Call 622-8333. We'll give you a customized private tour.
Yeah.
And watch the video online.
And it's I hate to say this, but I'm going to say it again. It's probably a better tour than what you get if we were in the normal world right now.
It really is. And we're taking.
They do an amazing job, but you get kind of a personalized tour.
We've stepped it up.
Yeah. It's kind of like someone walking you through, like, say, I don't know, a Smithsonian museum.
Well, I hate to be this way, but
it's like,
they used to ring the doorbell, and if we had a lot of people in here, not everybody would get the tour. It was hard. This and this. No, we're intentionally giving private, customized tours to have that very unique experience that I don't think you're going to get in other areas.
Yeah. And you get to ask questions and see things that maybe you wouldn't have got a chance to do in a group setting because time didn't allow it or whatever. And
had a lot of calls lately. If you need to do research, have any questions, archive facility number 622-1176. If you have questions, concerns, or you want to do a research project, we're talking about that. So.
Absolutely. And then don't forget, scholarship season is officially underway.
It's time.
Again, RoswellNMHistory.org. High school seniors, start filling out and getting these applications turned in.
Don't put it off.
I know we all procrastinate, but April 1st is you turn to a pumpkin if that happens. So you got this month, rest of this month, the month of March to get it done.
If you apply for Google Docs, this is the fact of the matter. That first name is going to come up for that first application.
Yeah.
Well, be the first. There you go. I want to see an application on there. How better look?
And I got to imagine, and this is just inside baseball, I'm thinking, like the earlier you turn it in, the more people will read and stew and marinate on your, you know what I mean? Like if you wait till the last minute, I'm sure they read
true.
The application.
Get on there and know what and really spend some time.
You're
right. Spend some time.
I think
do that right.
I mean, obviously the whole committee probably doesn't see it, but certain influential people see it. And if they've been reading it for a couple weeks, that's going to marinate a little bit more than when they only read. You know what I'm saying?
Don't wait till the last minute.
I'm just saying
rush
it behooves
to do that.
of you to maybe that might be
get those things
an unintentional advantage right there just by doing
that.
And
we need more scholarships. So if you want to be involved, whether it's Teen Leadership Institute, whether it's these scholarships, let's just support these amazing youth.
Absolutely. And, of course, if you have questions about anything we talked about and don't find what you're looking for at the website there, historydirector@outlook.com is Amy's email. That you can get to 24/7. You can also call the Historical Society, which I never have that number.
622-8333. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, that's another great way. Leave a message on Instagram or Facebook, and we'll definitely get back to you soon. If you have questions, scholarships, volunteers, any of the stuff we talked about, we'll be happy to give you that information. So, good deal. I guess we got it all.
Oh.
If not, we'll get arrested on Friday.
There you go. We'll just keep pressing forward.
We'll make Jason and John do the heavy work.
There you go. There you go. That's right.
Well, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Happy day.
I'll see you tonight. We got meeting. Tonight's meeting nights for us.
Tonight's meeting night. That's right.
We'll see you this evening.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Happy day.
All right. It is 9:51. Man, this morning's zipping right by. I feel like I was just rolling out of bed a minute ago, and it's already 10 o'clock. All right, let's get you up to date with local news, Sean Hannity, and Travis County Sports. All that coming up next. Don't go away.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Sorello. We begin with a developing story out of Roswell where a woman has been arrested and charged with voluntary manslaughter after a deadly shooting during an argument and fight. RPD officers arrived to the home in the 900 block of Caminacito and found the shooter, 26-year-old Melissa Kenyon, and her boyfriend Uriah Shields outside the home. They were both ID'd and detained there. Inside the home, police said they found 51-year-old Cassandra Kirkman dead of a gunshot wound in a bedroom. RPD says Kenyon called police to report that she had shot Kirkman. She's now being held for voluntary manslaughter. Shields was also arrested for being a convicted felon in possession of a gun. The Eddy County Sheriff's Office currently hiring both certified and uncertified deputies. If you have any questions about the requirements, benefits, or the hiring process, you can contact recruiter Sergeant Gracie Gonzalez, 575-887-7551. You can apply and find more information online at eddycounty.org. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
It's time for the Chavez County Sports Report to be continued. That seems to be the story for the Goddard Boys Basketball District because Goddard fell on Friday night at home to Artesia. Final score was 51-47. Goddard stormed back from a 13-point deficit in the fourth quarter, but lost the game. So tonight, it's Goddard against Artesia at 6 o'clock in Hagerman to decide who gets the top seed in the district tournament, which will be taking place this week. So it's a big game tonight in Hagerman. The Goddard girls, meanwhile, secured second place in district by knocking off Artesia 46-33. As far as Roswell is concerned, they'll both be playing in district tournament action on Tuesday at Clovis because both of those Roswell teams, the boys and girls, fell to Clovis on Friday night. The sports report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. An activist investor is trying to alter the way McDonald's buys pork for its bacon cheeseburgers and sausage patties.
Carl Icahn nominated 2 candidates for McDonald's board of directors with the intent of trying to change how some pork suppliers can find pregnant pigs in small crates. McDonald's vowed a decade ago to phase out using pork from such suppliers. The hamburger giant says it expects to source 85 to 90% of its U.S. pork from pigs not housed in gestation crates during pregnancy by the end of the year. Rhonda Rockstra reporting.
Banking giant Credit Suisse rejecting media allegations that it does business with criminal clients and holds billions of dollars of their funds. Wall Street is closed in observance of President's Day. The Dow resumes trading tomorrow at 34,079 amid ongoing uncertainty over the Ukraine situation. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Honey, did you see the story in the Roswell paper recently about how Dennis Kintai and the city council want to spend $61 million on new baseball fields?
Yep, talk about out-of-control spending.
Yeah, they say it's a field of dreams, more like field of debt.
Definitely. Kintai and the council don't have their priorities straight. Remember, they wanted to spend $35 million on a new public safety complex. Thank goodness over 80% of voters rejected that boondoggle.
And meanwhile, crime has gone up drastically over Kintai's last 4 years in charge.
Yeah, and Roswell's roads are a mess. Have you seen the sorry state that streets like North Garden are in? Potholes everywhere.
That's why we need Tim Jennings for mayor. Tim will control spending, hire more police officers, and fix our roads.
Let's send a message to City Hall that Roswell can't afford to spend $61 million on building new baseball fields. Vote Tim Jennings for mayor.
Paid for by Tim Jennings for mayor.
Attention dart enthusiasts, shooters, or just plain old chuckers. B&B Newsstand in downtown Artesia is the only place for quality dart supplies and dart boards. Plus, find wacky adult gifts like novelty socks and cup towels, Candleberry candles, Zippo lighters, and so much more. Come in and browse all the cool stuff at B&B Newsstand. You won't be disappointed. Root beer floats, Coke floats, and the best fountain drinks in town can only be found at B&B Newsstand on the corner of Main and Roselawn in downtown Artesia. Open Monday through Friday from 11 to 7.
Austin Industrial is currently seeking a janitorial staff position to work in the Holly Frontier Refinery. You will be responsible for cleaning and sanitizing offices, meeting rooms, bathrooms, kitchen and dining room, and public areas. No minimum education requirements are needed, no experience is required, and pay is $13.50 an hour for this full-time 40-hour-a-week position. Apply at austin-ind.com or call Miss Cookie Look at 832-657-3385. Austin Industrial is an equal employment opportunity employer.
Martine's Capital Cafe in Roswell offers authentic and highly rated New Mexico food. Explore their amazing menu featuring huevos rancheros or asado with eggs or their green chili stew. And you can't forget their award-winning green chili cheeseburger, all made from scratch using their finest and freshest ingredients. Open for carryout with curbside delivery or limited dine-in. Just call ahead 624-2111. Martine's Capital Cafe, always pleasing the most refined palate. Open Monday through Saturday from 6 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. at 110 West 4th in Roswell.
Ed Heldenbrand, candidate for City Council. He's a patriot fighting against the waste of your tax dollars. As a CPA and Chief Financial Officer with over 35 years of experience, Ed understands the importance of managing budgets. By reducing the wasteful spending in the budget, we can lower your city water, sanitation costs, and work to reduce city fees. Roswell's potential is hurt by bad ideas and wasteful spending. Ed Hildebrand will never vote to shut down Roswell. He'll fight the job, education, and freedom-killing mandates from Santa Fe. It's important that taxpayers see improvements in our roads and city services to attract jobs, businesses, tourists, and to create an environment for local businesses to thrive. In Ward 3, you have a choice. Vote Ed Hildebrand, the conservative candidate. With your vote, we can build a better Roswell.
I'm Ed Hildebrand, City Council candidate for Ward 3, asking for your vote on Tuesday, March 1st. It's not about me, it's about we, and I approve this message.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
And it is closing in on 9:59. We got about a minute left here before I get kicked off the radio waves here. If you missed any part of our show, I invite you to go back and check it out at your leisure. We had a couple of our candidates for city council join us today. We had Ward 3 candidate Ed Hildebrand join us in the 7 o'clock hour. You can go back and check that out, ksvptv.com, in the mornings with Mike Winter's channel there. And then in the 8 o'clock hour, we had James Edwards. He is running for city council in Ward 1. And we had a great interview with him as well. You can go back and check it out, ksvptv.com, in the mornings with Mike Winter's channel, along with all the other candidates we've had so far. We got more coming up this week. So we got a lot happening this week with some of those. Again, we'll put them all up on the ksvptv.com or our Facebook wall, too. You can check them out there at your leisure. All right, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your day. Have an amazing Monday. And